Are the Americans close on 17 there? Or?
Yeah, they were reasonably close, but they missed it because that's what they do. In fact, Shoffley left it a foot short. I mean, literally left a must-make putt 8 inches short.
So Rory's got 4 feet for the match?
No, Fleetwood's got 2.5. I mean, Rory just stuffed one. Then on 15, because they had a shot there on 15, Shoffley blows it, or Cantley blows it 6 feet past the hole. Shoffley misses the comebacker, and they lose the hole. They got it to 1 up or 1 down, and they're done. 0-4.
So 2-1.
Yeah. 4-3, 4-3, 2-1, 2-1.
Mm-hmm.
Never had a lead.
Nope. Second match was even through 4. That's it. Mm-hmm.
So the first poll question is ready to go
up. Uh-oh.
No. It's National Coffee Day. How do you drink your coffee? Black, cream and sugar, just sugar. The only problem is for years, not even an option. I don't drink coffee. That's my only problem with this.
You drink coffee?
Yeah. No? But no, I mean, the 4 choices are black, cream and sugar, just sugar. There's not one for I don't drink coffee. That's my only.
Black with a lot of brown sugar, please.
Then you would be just sugar.
Yeah, Coffin Ball. That was fascinating last week. Women went 6-2 in the mornings, and I think they played best ball in the morning, and then went 1-7 in the afternoons. Lost both sessions 3.5 to a half in alternate shot, and then Sunday singles went 6-6.
Here we go.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Oh, are we fired up this morning? First off, it's a Football Friday.
Football Friday!
And the U.S. already choking like big hairy dogs in the Ryder Cup.
God, did they suck this morning. I've been up for hours, David. I'm fired up this morning. Let's go.
So, Mark, I asked you the question, how the heck are you? Miller and Moulton here on the Florida Sports Network. FloridaSportsNetwork.com. Oh, we are wired. We are fired up. We are ready to go. We're certainly ready to go. U.S. Ryder Cup team, not so much. Hey, listen, if you're going to put JT on the team, shouldn't you play him? I mean, the reason you put him on the team is because he's great in these competitions, right? Him and Spieth, hardly ever lost. How about playing him? How about Koepka's a bulldog who doesn't give a about anyone, anything, where he's playing, nothing. You want to play him in the morning?
You mean the 3 guys that have all won, wait for it, majors? You maybe want to play them, Zach? No, strategize. Let's make sure we get Sam Burns out there because he's got a lot of experience in these things. Unbelievable. Maybe captaining this is a lot harder than I thought, David.
It's not
because
for
it's all
Luke
the
Donald.
analytics. It's all about that's what they've told me for 3 hours on NBC. These captains, it's all about analytics.
Wait a minute. NBC Golf actually told you something? I thought they were in commercial break.
That's a dadgum good point, David. That
Wow.
is a good point. I got up at 2:50 in the morning to watch commercials.
We interrupt this infomercial with a little Ryder Cup. Whew, this is perfect for NBC. They've only got, 16 golfers on the course, only 4 matches. Oh, plenty. If we could just get the tee shots and the approach shots timed up, we could just, nice 3-4 minute commercial breaks in between everything. This is perfect. Oh, man. So we will get to the football, but Mark, as someone who picks the LA Chargers every year, you then doubled down and decided you would go with the United States on the road in the Ryder Cup. Not in World Wars. Very good road record in World Wars. But in the Ryder Cup, you decided you were going to play the road team. Mark, would you care to comment on the morning's proceedings?
David, we could not, as a nation of golfers, sucked more than we did this morning. At one point, they had only won 4 holes. Now, they ended up winning 10 holes out of the combined 4 matches. 10 holes!
Out of 64 played, by the way, for the record. So, every 6 holes, we win a hole. Every 6 holes. Europe, by the way, won 22 of the 64 holes played. They win a hole once every 3 holes. That means they're twice as good as we are so far. Yes. Mm-hmm. Now, there was a little bit of strategy involved, not just who Zach Johnson played and who he didn't, but Luke Donald took a look historically and is like, the U.S. sucks in alternate shot. We beat them like a drum in alternate shot. So we're going to open with alternate shot. And that's not usually what happens. It's usually best ball, alternate shot, morning, afternoon, then Sunday singles. Europe made the decision to start with alternate shot today. How's Europe doing, Mark?
Really well. Really well. They won all 4 matches. They won them convincingly. There was never really any doubt. There was some doubt in the final match, but the U.S. managed to 3-putt from 25 feet down 1 to go down 2. That would end up costing them that match.
3 putts would seem to not be a good thing anywhere, never mind in a Ryder Cup. Mark, I'm just curious, when they started playing this morning and they played for roughly 4.5 hours, how many leads did the United States have in any of the 4 matches?
That would be zilch, nada. In fact, they only had a tie, I think, through 4 holes in one match. I think they were down prior to 4 holes in every other match. They were tied through 4 in one of the matches.
So what you're telling me is that there is no way to look at the stat sheet and to come away with any positives.
Not a thing. Not a thing.
Jordan Spieth, Justin Thomas, Brooks Koepka, and Wyndham Clark did not play in the morning. I don't think there's any reason to hold any of those 4 back. In fact, it sounds like it's going to be difficult to actually decide which 4 of the 8 who got their butt kicked that you're actually willing to put back out there in the afternoon. Mark, you watched it all, at least as much as NBC would allow you to watch. Okay. Besides your favorite commercials, which we'll get to in a moment, any of the golfers from this morning you'd put back out there? I'll tell you what, we'll just go match by match. Between Scheffler and Burns.
Well, I'll put Scheffler back out there because I've got to put a couple of the guys back out there, but I'm not putting Burns back out there. The hooked 3-wood into the water on a par 5 from the middle of the fairway, that pretty much set him back for me.
Come on, Mark. He's got the haircut.
Yeah. Wonderful. Sit.
Brian Harmon, Max Homa.
No, I wouldn't play either of them.
Okay, well, they were the only guys who were tied after 4. They won the
Yeah.
3rd and 4th holes to get back tied. So, no, okay, none of them. Ricky Fowler, Colin Morikawa. I know what a big Ricky guy you are.
Well, and I don't know. I mean, I know Morikawa's playing in the second session, so let's hope Zach's right there.
Okay, so you went with Morikawa because you got some inside information, but not because you wanted to. So now that leaves Patrick Cantlay and Xander Schauffele. I'm sorry, who left the 8-foot birdie putt short?
Oh, it's Schauffele.
Okay, well, of course. I mean,
And he missed the comebacker after Cantlay blew one past the hole by 6 feet. So
it really sounds like you would only send Scotty Scheffler back out there of the 8 who played, that we'll just go 5 on 8. We'll just have some guys double up. They'll just keep peeling back. They'll hit their tee shots and they'll stay. And they'll wait for the next group to get there, and then they'll hit another tee shot. Then they'll hurry up ahead. It sounds like we're going to go 5 on 8 in the afternoon is what you're saying.
Well, it looked like we went 5 on 8 in the morning, David. It really did. You called it. You said this was coming. Now there's a lot of golf yet to be played. The U.S. has plenty of opportunities to get right back in this.
Oh, they sure do.
Oh, man.
They sure do. See, here's the other thing that people didn't take into consideration. We beat the tar off them last time. 19-9. Rory McIlroy cried. All right. I mean, we beat the tar off them last time. This is like their thing. I mean, this really is. This is the rivalry game. This is Oklahoma State. It means everything to Oklahoma State. Oklahoma, to be honest with you, the Texas game means more. But, we lie. We put on a good face and, we go through the pageantry and, we call it Bedlam. Okay. That's really what the United States is. And every now and then, though, we get our butt kicked enough times in a row in which we get honked off. And then we go back to, this is fun. This is cute. Okay. But this is it for this other side. We beat them 19-9. Pick the football score in a rivalry game. This is like 45-10.
It's like 70-20.
It is. Only in a rivalry game. Right. Mm-hmm. Plus, these Europeans, they got to shut their counterparts on the LIV tour up. They got to be like, dude, we didn't miss any of you, okay? Your time has come and gone. We appreciate your contributions. We'll allow some of you to come back and be captain. We will, but not now. So they got the LIV golfers on one side, 19-9 on the other, and they're in the middle. And besides, it's the European golfers like Tommy Fleetwood. Tommy's not going to win a major. Maybe one. He might pull a Sergio. He might win one. But what is he in the Ryder Cup? He's Jack Nicklaus. They've got guys like that. Monty never won a major. What was Monty in the Ryder Cup? It was Tiger Woods. I mean, that's what these guys are.
And they do make shots. They look like they're down and out on a par 4, and John Rahm hits a chip that's going 30 feet past the hole and dunks it right in the hole for par. Just when the U.S. thinks they might get back into that match, boom, ties the hole. Good night.
So here's the one good thing. Like, let's just say, you've got a life and you're working and you're taping this with so many commercials. Do you know how fast you can go through this golf tournament? I mean, they're hardly showing you any golf. Did we get enough shots in there? I mean, we took down the golfers. We took down the coverage. Is there anything else? We got 2 more minutes before we have to take our first break. Is there anyone or
Rory winning a match?
See,
He's
that's
trying to give it away. Then he stiffs one on 17 to secure the match and a 4-0 lead for Europe.
Plus, it's Europe. They don't have just a Victor Hovland, some Nordic phenom. You know who they have? They have a Ludwig Aberg. The guy turned pro like 6 months ago. But they said, we're putting him on the team. Who the hell is he? He's a phenom. Trust us. Mark, how'd he look today?
Looked great.
Right. By the way, rookie, though.
Better than Sam Burns.
Yeah. Rookie, though. Tremendous pressure. Can't put him out there. Can't put him out there. He's 23 years old. He turned pro 6 months ago. Moment's going to be too big for him.
Nope. He was the Baltimore Orioles this morning, David. The moment was not too big for him. He won 100 games, if you know what I mean.
Well played, Mark. Very well played. Do you know what the Team USA was this morning? They were the New York Mets ground crew. That's what they were this morning. Man, oh man.
Well, the good news is it's a football Friday, everyone. That means Lee Sterling will be on the show today to make his picks. He's been on a bit of a roll. David and I will make our picks. I've had 3 straight winning weeks, and David went 5-1-1 last week, everybody, in September.
Miller and Moulton, not the U.S. Ryder Cup team.
And, of course, it's Friday, which means Pat Kirwan will be on the show to break down all of the NFL games for the weekend. On a football Friday, it's Miller and Moulton. Thanks for listening right here on the Florida Sports Network.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Worth.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again.
Yeah. Hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here.
Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're going to have to go around again.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Live is the official transportation provider of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Live is supported with the help of local partners like the Bayfront Inn. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone on 5th Avenue in downtown Naples. BayfrontInNaples.com. When you need a ride, book with Salt Live Transportation, 308-8686, or book on saltlivetransportation.com.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Johnny Mac.
God, I wish that was just 14. The Georgia line slipped to 14 and a half on me.
Last time the Lions were 3-1.
Oh, they showed it last night. It's like 2007, I think.
$2017. They finished 9-7, missed the playoffs. Was that Jim Caldwell's last year? Remember, he went 9-7 3 times. Couldn't keep it. It's like Lovie Smith went 10-6. That just the Bears. They gotta do better than that.
I've got 6 games written down.
Yes. Want to give me one of them?
I got to take one off.
Why? You're on a roll. You can't. You know that you're going to take off a winner.
I forgot about 2 games I wanted to pick. Now I got 7. I've got 7.
Yes.
I forgot about my 2. I wrote 5 down. I forgot about my 2 automatics this week. USC and Washington, baby. I'm riding the Huskies until they buck.
All I know is, how'd my number 1 seed in the NFC playoffs look last night? Huh?
Jordan Love. Well, it's hard to stay with that bad line. He was awful, but there's no line there. He's got no receivers. He made those Lions corners look good.
It's just further proof how experts really just don't know anything when I just keep on saying, oh, Montgomery expected to see less time on the field, less carries. He had 32 carries for 154 yards and 3 touchdowns.
I will say, though, that was a bit unexpected considering he didn't play 4 days earlier.
Right.
I mean, you don't expect. 22 carries is a lot of carries when you're not healthy enough to play 4 days earlier. Never mind 32.
Man, he runs hard.
He did with the Bears too. He just didn't have any holes.
Yep.
As he said after the game, I've never come to Lambeau with this good a team.
God, that's funny.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour, top of the morning to you. Miller and Moulton, the Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. If you're just joining us, the U.S. is already down 4-0 in the Ryder Cup. The reason they're only down 4-0 is they only played 4 matches in the morning. I mean, they were so bad and got whooped so badly that it's possible they could have played 4 matches and been down 5-0. But Europe just kept it to 4-0. And we'll see how the afternoon 4-ball session goes. I don't know why I brought out that accent, considering the fact that the matches are, where in Spain? Italy, right?
Italy, Rome.
Yeah. So we would, however, like to congratulate the Detroit Lions on winning the NFC North last night. I mean, come on, can we make that official? Okay, we said during the Diamond District bonus hour yesterday, listen, if the Lions win this game, this sucker's over. Yes? No? Okay. Better chance. Any of the other 3 teams in the NFC North or the United States to come back in the Ryder Cup?
I'll take the U.S.
So just the Bears, the Vikings combined 0-6, by the way, and the Green Bay Packers, left side of the offensive line's hurt, and that's a glorified rookie at quarterback. So, no, it's over. I'd like to congratulate the Detroit Lions. You're the NFC North champions. You could do the hats and the T-shirts. You could have walked off the field last night and done the hats and the T-shirts, and people can get as upset as they want. The baby's over. And so you're going to get a home playoff game? Hell, I got you as the number 1 seed in the NFC preseason. I'm feeling pretty good. Wait, this just in, Mark. Not only have the Dolphins scored again on the Broncos, but David Montgomery's just rushed for another first down.
Yeah, he is looking like the Bears always thought he was going to be. It's amazing when you give a good, competent running back a hole occasionally.
What?
Offensive line.
Mark, he hadn't seen one of those in years. Years. He did comment after the game. He did say that, I haven't come to Lambeau with this good a team very often. Yeah, like maybe never.
Dominant first half. They let Green Bay act like they were back in the game for a moment. But Detroit with a comfortable win last night in Green Bay. That's 4 in a row the Lions have beaten the Packers.
Comfortable? What are you talking about comfortable? Total yards at the half were 284 to 21. What are you talking about? The U.S. Ryder Cup team put up a better performance this morning than the Packers did in the first half.
I'm aware of that. But the Packers did come back, score early in the third quarter, score early in the fourth quarter, had an opportunity to get it to a 1-possession game, but missed the 2-point conversion. Look, I was trying to go to bed. All I wanted was Detroit to tack on one more score so I could get a few hours of sleep. That was it. I just wanted a couple hours. I ended up getting 3 hours and 45 minutes.
Hold on a second. You didn't think, 24-3 was enough?
No.
Wow.
I've been watching Lions football my entire life, David. There is no lead that is big enough for a Detroit Lion football team.
Okay. See, I wish you'd have called me. I wish you'd texted me. Honestly, would have been, about 9:40 last night. Hey, can I go to bed? And I just simply would have said, is Favre or Rodgers the quarterback on the other side, or is it Jordan Love? And you would have said it's Jordan Love. I would have said, get some sleep, dude. But
I went to bed with 5 minutes left in the game. That's when I finally felt comfortable.
Wow. I love the Packers tacking on a field goal at the end, 50-yard field goal at the end. That's hysterical. I know, go from 3 scores to 2. I know, under 3 minutes ago. I get it. It's just cute. That's all. Fortunately, the over-under wasn't in play, unless there was a teaser involved. Maybe the Packers head coach was involved in a teaser. I don't know. Anyway. So, the NFC North's over. We didn't even get to October in that division. Any other divisions we want to declare over? AFC West, you're still holding out on the Chargers. You want the Chiefs and Chargers to play one time before you're willing to give the Chiefs that division for the 9th consecutive year.
Yeah, I mean, the way San Francisco looks, I'd like to give them the division, but I think they should play and beat Seattle once as well.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. So the 2 Western divisions are kind of teetering, but you're not willing to, put the X next to anybody's name. We can put the X next to Detroit, though, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. That baby's over. That baby's over. Now, of course, I probably jinxed him and 12 guys will get hurt, but first time in 6 years, the Lions are off to a 3-1 start. See, that's when Detroit pulled a Chicago. Remember, the Bears went 10-6 under Lovie Smith. They said, yeah, this is unacceptable. We have to get a new coach. You know how many times they've had a better record in the last 12 years since? Once. Lions had 3 winning seasons in 4 years with Jim Caldwell. You know what they said? They said, this is unacceptable.
We've got to get better. This isn't good enough for us. Winning seasons in Detroit are just too commonplace.
Right. Can't believe there wasn't somebody in the back of the room going, I'm sorry, what part of the winning seasons in Detroit did you not put together? We're in the same sentence. Detroit Lions winning seasons. Hasn't happened a lot. Are you sure you're okay? Take a nap. How about a Snickers? But let's get to the important stuff. The shape up continues. Mark Miller on a roll. I would have thought that there would have been, yesterday's poll question was who was going to win the Ryder Cup, since we already know the answer. Okay. I thought that we were going to have a very snarky poll question this morning because Mark's already wrong. He hasn't been wrong a lot lately, so I thought there'd be some snark. But apparently you've got a theme.
Well, it's National Coffee Day today, David. And I'm going to be drinking a lot of it since I was up at 2:45 this morning to watch the U.S. get pounded in the Ryder Cup early session. But how do you drink your coffee? Black, with cream and sugar, or just sugar? Those are your choices. For someone like you, this poll question doesn't even apply because you don't drink coffee. But you can ask maybe your wife, and you can vote for her.
Well, I will say, I think of my grandfather who drank it black. However, he would occasionally dump some sugar in it. Okay, so what was it? Weren't those the first 2 choices? Like black?
So just sugar's a choice.
Right.
Cream and sugar's a choice. Cream's a choice. Just black.
No. No cream with my grandfather. That coffee was black. Asphalt black. And then there's my wife, who basically, it's not coffee by the time she gets done with it.
So she has some coffee with her milk.
Yes, I think there's enough coffee still left in it to technically call it coffee. But wow.
Dímelo.
So, and I know there's more than 4 ways to do your coffee. I know we didn't give you enough choices. My choice isn't on it. Pick one, okay? Come on. All right, just because you bet on the U.S. in the Ryder Cup, don't take it out on us, okay?
They're off in the second sessions this morning. U.S. down 4-0.
Right. Yep. Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth out there against Tyrrell Hatton and Victor Hovland. Yep. Good luck, boys. Good luck. You're going to need it. The starting 5 is next.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Myers.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
I don't think anybody's trading up for Caleb Williams because I think whoever gets number one's taking him. I think he's that good.
Did you see what Darren Ravel put out on Twitter/X?
I did not.
New at Phillies games for the postseason, the Schwar burger, an onion ring, a bun, onion ring, bacon, cherry pepper relish, Cooper Sharp American cheese, a half-pound burger, smoked barbecue brisket, and a bun. It's $23.12.
They love him in Philly.
He's not even hitting 200, and they do love him.
They love him so much.
I'll tell you what, the city of Philadelphia loves this Phillies team. They do. They love the personality of it.
Did you see Harper go nuts last night? Did you see his ejection?
That was amazing.
Guess who the umpire was?
Did you see his post game?
Angel.
I did
see
not.
Harper's post game? He's like, he basically just said, here it is. Here it is. Hernandez again. I mean, he's and I'm going to get fined for not doing anything wrong. He went off post game. He made sure post game he got fined with what he said.
Good.
Exactly.
Good.
It was such great television.
Hatton just hit it to 3 feet on the first hole.
It's Europe in the Ryder Cup.
Hovland's in the fescue. It's about knee deep. Hovland just hit it to 3 feet. Or Hatton hit it to 3 feet. I mean, Hovland is in the chop suey, man.
I may have to watch the Ryder Cup all morning tomorrow because I just want to hear the commentary as to how we try to justify getting destroyed. I mean, I hope Azinger lets it rip.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network.
22 minutes before the hour. Lee Sterling will join us at the top of the hour. He's 32-15 so far on the season, giving away his picks. Well, he doesn't give them away. I mean, you pay for them. But is 32-15 worth paying for? He's had 3 straight winning weeks, giving them away for free on our show. Lee Sterling coming up at the top of the hour. Mark Miller's had 3 straight weeks of winning picks. And he'll give away his picks for free coming up a little bit later. Hell,
I've got lots of them.
Uh-oh, he's got the fever.
No, I just forgot a couple of picks that I thought about earlier the week. I wrote down my 5 last night and I forgot the 2 that I was going to pick. And there you go.
Oh, hey, you got to make up for all the money you're losing on the U.S. and the Ryder Cup. I understand. By the way, Mark, the afternoon matches are underway in the Ryder Cup. How are things starting for the U.S.?
Well, Justin Thomas is on the first green with about a 25-foot birdie look, and Terrell Hatton hit it to about 3 feet.
Wow.
You could be 1 down after 1 unless we roll 1 in.
So Europe's in close. They hit it tight at the Ryder Cup, huh? Wow, that's shocking. I have to admit, I didn't fully comprehend the damage that the Detroit Lions have done to their fan base over the years. And I should have. I mean, I'm the one that talks about they've won 1 playoff game since the Eisenhower administration. I would think that of all people, I would realize. But I chastised Mark a little bit earlier. What do you mean you didn't go to bed at halftime? It's 27-3. All right. And Detroit Paula in our Twitch chat room, she chimed in. Mark, I'm with you. I was nervous at the half. Think about it. The score was 27-3 Lions. Total yards were 284-21. The Green Bay got 1 first down on their own. The other was because of a penalty. 284-21, 27-3 on the scoreboard. Quote, I'm with you, Mark. I was nervous at the half.
Yeah, I mean, the Lions were playing Iowa in the first half last night.
But I think sometimes the rest of us don't fully understand the damage that has been done.
And it's a lifetime of damage.
Right.
Forever, no matter how old the Lions fan is. They could be 70 years old. They could be 54 like I am. They could be 34 years old. It doesn't matter. However old they are, it is a lifetime of damage.
Right. I mean, I could see where a Lions fan thought that Favre or Rodgers was coming out of the tunnel. I could. You know what? I'm sorry. I should not have chastised there. Okay, see, because I'm, a normal sports fan, I have not been damaged by the Lions like some of you have. My apologies. I should know better.
And I will say at the end of the third quarter, the clock was at 0. They let them snap the ball. They run a play. They get it down to the 10-yard line. And I got a buddy that I'm texting with in Michigan. I just get a WTF. Is this happening? I mean, that's what a lifetime of losing does to you, David.
And I should understand. And that's on me. My bad. Okay. Mark, Detroit Paula, all of you. By the way, I would like to congratulate you on winning the NFC North, though. It's over. All right. I'm printing the hats and the T-shirts. We will send them out in early October. You can wear them proudly, unless you're nervous. Up 27-3 at the half. Time now for
The Starting 5. 5 stories you need to know. It's the Starting 5 on Miller and Moulton. Here's number 1.
34-20 was the final. Game wasn't really that close. David Montgomery, it's remarkable. He didn't even play 4 days earlier. He carried it 32 times. Damn. 121 yards rushing, not one, not two, but 3 touchdowns. The Lions are 3-1. The Packers are 2-2. Green Bay before the game. I don't think he's ever going to be right. David Bakhtiari, who was on his way to potentially a Hall of Fame career, but he hurt his knee late in the 2020 season. He's played half the game since. He's back on the injured list for at least another 4 weeks because of that knee. And the Packers, without the left side of their offensive line, I don't know. They just didn't look very good. It's funny how that works. Jalen Waddle, the good news, he's out of concussion protocol and expected to play for the Dolphins Sunday in Buffalo. And after scoring 70, Miami's still an underdog in Buffalo against the Bills, in which maybe the Dolphins could wrap up the AFC East. No? Too soon?
Too soon.
Okay. All right.
Too tough of a schedule.
You sure this isn't Florida State going to Clemson? Are we sure? Okay.
They can take control of the division. They can't win the division, if you know what I mean. Too many tough games left on the schedule, David.
I would agree with that last part. Okay. We talked about it all offseason. The AFC East team schedules are challenging. There was some college football last night. None of it, big, but it was an opportunity to bet, unless, of course, you live in Florida. Western Kentucky beat Middle Tennessee 31-10. Tulsa 48-26 over Temple. Jacksonville State over Sam Houston in overtime. We have 4 games tonight, and some of them are salty. Well, we got Louisville, NC State. Hey, Utah, Oregon State's a battle of top 25 teams. Louisiana Tech, UTEP. And you may hear a little bit about Cincinnati and BYU later. I'm just saying. Former Michigan State head coach Mel Tucker filed a wrongful termination suit against the school that just fired him. Once again, there's nothing on the line here, nothing to see here, just $79 million. Baseball. Strange night for the Marlins. Actually turns into a good night, but a strange night. So they're losing 1-0 in the ninth to the Mets. And then it starts raining. Buck Showalter, for whatever reason, doesn't go to his 2 best relievers. Yeah, I know they pitched the day before, but give me a break. They can pitch on back-to-back days. And instead, he puts a couple guys in there kind of like, hey, let's see how these young guys do in the big spot. And the Marlins said, yeah, they ain't ready. And they got a couple of RBI hits, and then the rains really came. And, well, then the Mets ground crew, who had 3 days to put the tarp on the field and couldn't get it on quickly, and it's pouring, and the outfield's soaked. And this is the last time the Marlins are in New York all year. They're like, we got to finish this game. It's kind of important. They couldn't finish the game. Suspended. Top of the 9th inning. Runs count. It's 2-1 Marlins. Game suspended. If the game needs to be finished, it'll be finished Monday at 1:00. That's a big if. Remember, Marlins own the tiebreakers on the Cubs, and the Cubs lost in Atlanta 5-3. So the Marlins are ahead of the Cubs in the standings. They have the tiebreaker on the Cubs, and they're leading in the suspended game. The horse has the lead coming down the stretch. Matt Olson with his 54th homer for the Braves in the win. They swept the Cubs with nothing to play for. They swept the Cubs. The White Sox beat Arizona 3-1. Arizona's magic number to clinch a playoff spot, though, is 1. They're the 5 seed right now. They're a game and a half ahead of the Marlins, 2 ahead of the Cubs. They play Houston. They actually host Houston their final 3 games of the year. Big games for both teams, but Arizona with 1 win will make the playoffs. Speaking of winning, the Orioles won again. 2-0 over Boston. They clinched the East. They clinched the 1 seed. It's their 100th win on the season. How about that? That's pretty flippin' impressive. Well done, Orioles. Congratulations. You earned it.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Well said.
Toronto 6-0 over the Yankees. Their magic number to clinch a playoff spot is 2. They are currently the 5 seed and would play the Rays next week in a best of 3 at the Trop. They have a 1-game lead for that 5 seed. Seattle saved their season last night.
Did they ever, David?
Down 2-1 in the 9th. Crawford with a 2-run homer to win it 3-2 off of Aroldis Chapman. Okay. Rangers would have won the West, and Seattle would have been damn near eliminated. Was it not Crawford?
It was Crawford, but it was a 2-run double.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He drove into. It wasn't a home run, but
bad. 3-2 Seattle. They're a game behind Houston.
I haven't slept, David. I'm caught up on all this stuff. Usually this is an informative session for me with baseball, but when you slept for an hour and a half last night, I've got this stuff down, so I apologize.
No, I'm glad you corrected me. Seattle's a game behind Houston for the final playoff spot. They own the tiebreaker over the Astros. Seattle finishes with 3 more against Texas, while Houston plays 3 in Arizona. Pittsburgh beat the Phillies 3-2, but what you really want to go look up in this game is Bryce Harper gets ejected. A pitch that was out of the strike zone. He checked swings. He didn't come close to swinging. They appeal to third base. You know who the umpire is? Angel Hernandez. He says Bryce Harper swung. Harper loses his mind.
Harper was bending down to take off. He wears a shin guard, and he's bending down to unhook it to walk to first base because it wasn't close. It was barely a check swing, and he gets rung up. And as he said, he didn't know that Hernandez rang him up until he heard the crowd because he's not even looking.
So Pittsburgh won. Harper gets ejected, and then he gives great post game in which he basically says, listen, this is how much this guy sucks, and I understand this is going to cost me money, and I really don't care. Let me tell you how much this guy sucks. Milwaukee shut out St. Louis 3-0. Tigers took 2 from Kansas City Markets. Very important for the Tigers to finish second in the Central, apparently. They're trying very hard to finish second. They're ahead of Cleveland. Oakland beat Minnesota 2-1. Colorado over the Dodgers 14-5. Hey, I don't know if you heard, but it's the Ryder Cup, and it's in Europe. And so Europe's up 4-0. They won 22 of the 64 holes. The U.S. only won 10 of them this morning.
And there's one match started in the second round of matches, and the U.S. is down 1-0 or down 1-up in that match.
Yeah. See?
Through 1.
Basically, if they're playing golf, Europe is winning. See, that's how it works. Tyrrell Hatton and John Rahm beat Scheffler and Burns. Hovland and Aberg, that's an all-Nordic team. 2 guys in their 20s. They beat Brian Harmon and Max Homa. Shane Lowry and Seb Straka took out Ricky Fowler, Colin Morikawa, and Rory McIlroy and Tommy Fleetwood took out Patrick Cantlay and Xander Schauffele. Yeah. U.S. never led in any of the 4 matches, and they're trailing 1 hole into the first match in the afternoon. So I'd say things are going swimmingly. How about you? And at 9 minutes before the hour, that was
the Starting 5 every weekday morning at this time on Miller and Moulton.
All right. Here's the deal. This is what the criteria needs to be going forward for the U.S. Ryder Cup team. Onions. Onions. Does the guy have onions? You decide as captain. Never have to say it publicly. Okay? You decide. Does the guy have onions, yes or no? And by the way, can he putt worth a damn? Now, I know in the case of Scotty Scheffler, we got to live with the fact that this year he can't make a putt. But, Mark, I'm serious. From now on, here's the deal. Should we put him on the team? Well, do you think he's got onions? Yes or no?
Yes.
Dustin Johnson, onions, yes or no?
Yes.
Patrick Reed, onions, yes or no?
Yes.
Bryson DeChambeau, onions, yes or no? Okay, there's other guys too. Keegan Bradley, onions, yes or no? I hate Keegan Bradley. He's got onions. Got big onions. Keegan Bradley's got an us against the world mentality. That's who we need on the damn Ryder Cup, especially when we're going on the road.
Getting drilled 4-0 down in the first match as the afternoon matches are just getting underway in Italy in the Ryder Cup. But it is a football Friday. And when we come back,
Friday.
That's right. That's right. Give it to me like David Montgomery. Lee Sterling to make his picks. That's what's next right here on the Florida Sports Network.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again.
Hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here.
Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're going to have to go around again.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Live is the official transportation provider of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Live is supported with the help of local partners like the Bayfront Inn. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone on 5th Avenue in downtown Naples. BayfrontInNaples.com. When you need a ride, book with Salt Live Transportation, 308-8686, or book on saltlivetransportation.com.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Worth.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The waterways of Naples are a beauty to behold, and the Bayfront Inn has multiple ways for guests to enjoy the water and have some fun. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone, on 5th Avenue in Naples.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Unbelievable. You're going to have to call Lee. Oh, there he is. Hang on.
Okay.
He's on. All right.
6 minutes.
Well,
Okay.
I don't
Yeah.
know what's going on anymore.
Okay.
Can you hear us all right?
Yeah. Are you wearing purple too?
Yes.
Here we go. Purple's the lucky color.
We normally do, by the way, plug you. I mean, we don't just at 6.
I know.
No,
that was sent out to the masses, David. I'm doing just fine off your show.
The guy playing with Rom just rolled in a 35-footer on 1 for birdie.
Wow.
Hoggard or whatever.
You out playing golf this week? Mark got a nice tan. Mark, were you out playing golf?
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
And we are joined on this day and time by Lee Sterling. He of Paramount Sports, ParamountSports.com, 800-400-9741. Listen to the next 10, 12 minutes if you're interested in winners. He's 32-15 on the season. 3 straight winning weeks on this show, and he gives it away for free. He'd prefer if you give him a couple shekels for the 32-15. Lee, how are you?
I'm good. Correction, 33-15 after last night's Detroit win. So just updated that.
And a nice win for Detroit last night. And hopefully a lot of winners for you this week. Let's get to the games, Lee. Some great games to choose from. Notre Dame, 5.5-point favorite over Duke. Duke beat Clemson this year. The Duke offense is pretty good, but they're up against pretty good competition in Notre Dame as well.
I would agree with that. What did you guys think the line was going to be before you saw it?
I actually thought 6 because Notre Dame hasn't lost a game to an ACC team, 29 in a row, something like that?
Yeah. All right. I thought it was going to be 3.5. So I think Duke is underrated. I like their defense. They're +6 in turnover ratio so far this year. Take nothing away from Notre Dame. I had them last week, but they should have won. And it's tough to get back up 2 weeks in a row. That was a special game, a special weekend in college football when you have Clemson and Florida State finish that way, and then the Notre Dame Ohio State walk-off game. As much as I like Sam Hartman, I think Riley Leonard's actually better. I think he's almost as good a passer, a much better runner, an incredible leader. And this Duke team beat Sam Hartman last year in Wake Forest and sacked him 3 times. Duke, biggest game ever in the history at home for them. They're 12-4 against the spread here the last 16 home games. Wrong team favored. Duke outright 23-20.
Florida's actually had some struggles lately with Kentucky. It's a noon kick. Take that into consideration, whichever way you'd like. It's a virtual pick'em. Kentucky at home, favored by 1.
Yeah, 2-0 special offenses. I mean, they're not going to wow you at all. 2 transfer quarterbacks, so what's new? We see that every day. I think that Devin Leary has a little bit better pedigree as a passer, and he started to show it last week. So sometimes it takes 3 or 4 weeks to get integrated, get that timing. everything flowing and the green light coming on, and I see it coming on. Other than the game against Tennessee, and that was only for a half, the first half, I haven't seen enough in Florida to back them here. The chalk, 7-2 against the spread, Kentucky's last 9 games, and home field has to account for something here. I like Kentucky. That's a tough game to predict. Kentucky 24-20.
Let's go to Sunday early morning. This is the London game. This is the Toy Story game for those of you that are going to try to watch with your kids. Jacksonville, a 3-point favorite over Atlanta.
If Atlanta had a quarterback, they win the division going away. I never thought that Desmond Ridder was the guy. I thought he should have been a 6th or 7th rounder. He's a backup at best, a change of pace guy. They just can't push the ball down the field. Jacksonville, obviously, it's been a disaster so far. They might have to be like Cincinnati, just slowly slog it out and get things going. I think they can get it going here against this Atlanta defense, and they do one thing well on defense, does Jacksonville, stop the run. And that's what Atlanta's all about. They're 8th in the NFL run defense here, 27-20 Jacksonville in their second home.
Yeah, I was just going to say home away from home for the Jags, and boy, do they need it. For what it's worth, Lee, like we're wondering where Kirk Cousins is going to go. If you put Kirk Cousins on the Falcons, first off, you could actually start drafting Kyle Pitts on your fantasy team again. But also, if you put Kirk Cousins on the Falcons, I think this becomes like the 4th best team in the NFC. Just throwing that out there.
I agree.
Well, we'll stay in that division. These two teams do not like each other. It is genuine. Saints, Bucks in New Orleans. New Orleans favored by 3.5, playing their backup quarterback.
So I think the most valuable player in this game is going to be Chris Olave. I think with Jameis Winston playing, probably, 80, 85% of the time, they'll move in Hill from time to time at quarterback, Wildcat. I think they're going to be able to hit on some big plays. They're going to try 3, 4, 5 times. And, with that secondary, I think they've got a chance to hit on some big ones there. Just think that this team, they were playing great. They're up 17-0 when Carr goes out. And then they also missed a field goal at the end. Their kicker, kid from Notre Dame who looks 12, first miss of the year, I believe. But I think that New Orleans is the right side here. I think they win this 24-17.
Yeah, this is where the injuries mark in the Bucs secondary. Okay, Thomas and Olave, maybe Jameis can make something happen.
All right, the game of the week this week in the NFL, Miami after scoring 70, but Buffalo just destroyed Washington. Can Miami take control of the AFC East?
Don't discount Buffalo. I mean, they've outscored the last 2 teams, the Commanders and also the Raiders 75-13 the last 2 weeks. So they're getting things back going again too. What was crazy about the Miami 70 points that they scored, there was not a point scored on special teams or defense. Almost all the time when you see a score above 50, it usually happens that way. 5 touchdown runs, 5 touchdown passes here. First thing I check is injuries. Jalen Waddle's playing. He cleared concussion protocol, big for Miami. Second is weather. They're estimating a kickoff 74 degrees and a big 0% chance of rain. You don't see that too often in Buffalo. That favors, I think, Miami a little bit here. I think the Buffalo defense is down a couple notches here. Von Miller, he's out for at least another week. IR. And I think their best cornerback, White, never came back from ACL injury 100%. Also, their 2 safeties might have slowed down a half step or a step. And if you slow down a half step or a step against this Miami, group of receivers and running backs, which have the 4 fastest times when they have the ball this year, it is 28 to the gate, or some people call it good night, Irene. In a fun game, I like Miami, 38-35. Getting 3 points, I think they get it done.
All right. And then your game of the week, the second-ranked Wolverines, it's a 17-point number, taking on Nebraska.
Fun year, college football. I think it's wide open. We're going to find out over the next few weeks how good Michigan is. They're finally going to get tested. They're on the road here. So you want to get this game for free, be one of the first 10 callers. Call 800-400-9741. Give you the game for free. How about this? Have a couple specials. I'm releasing a game tonight, a blowout special, a 35-unit best bet. Never done this before. You want to buy this game alone, $10. We have not missed a 35 or 40, 45, or 50 unit selection this year. We are 62-20 on our 40 to 50 unit plays the last 15 years. So you want to get this best bet? Try me out. $10. It's an instant download, or it's not October coming up. We call it Locktober. Not 4 weeks of action, 5 weeks of action, just $347, one place, ParamountSports.com.
800-400-9741 or ParamountSports.com. Take Duke in the points. And in fact, Lee calling for the straight-out upset. Kentucky in a close one against Florida. The Jags to win and cover the field goal against the Falcons in London. The Saints to win and cover the 3.5 against the Bucks. The Dolphins to go into Buffalo and beat the Bills, and they're getting a field goal to boot. And calling for his game of the week, Michigan and Nebraska. Lee, as always, have a great weekend.
You too, guys. Be safe.
Lee Sterling of Paramount Sports. You can follow him on Twitter/X at Paramount Sports. 3 straight winning weeks on this show for Lee Sterling.
Already know that I'm going head-to-head with him with one game.
Me too.
I'm 1-0 head-to-head against Lee this year.
I'm 0-1. Yeah.
I'm not afraid of him. I know he's a professional handicapper, but I'm not afraid. Maybe I should be.
I'm not afraid.
I thought the U.S. was going to beat Europe, and so far there have been 2 matches that have started. We've lost the first hole. The U.S. has in both matches.
Right. So to review, Europe went 4-0 in the morning, and 2 matches out on the course in the afternoon. They've each played 1 hole. How many out of the 2 holes played, Mark? How many of Europe won again?
2.
Okay. Right, there you go. So, yeah, there you have it. So things are going just fine. Just fine, Zach Johnson. Just fine. No, you picked the right guys. No, it's fine. It'll be good. Don't worry about it. No, we're a big comeback team. Yep. I mean, we did it once. It was a quarter century ago, but no, we're big. We're especially on the road in this thing. I mean, not a problem. No, we're tough. See, we show a lot of intestinal fortitude on the road.
Resilient is the word that you like to use with this group.
Right. I was thinking wusses, but okay, you went with resilient. All right. Okay. You were thinking champions. I was thinking cowards, but that's okay. That's all right. Hey, at least I bet Europe. Sorry, come on. Tell me this is not Texas. Tell me this is not Texas. We are Texas. And until Texas went to Alabama and won, what were they? They were wusses. They could not win big games. They were soft. Until you prove it.
We needed Lou Holtz to talk badly about this team before the tournament started. That's
really
what the problem was. We needed a Lou Holtz interview telling the U.S. golf team that they were soft like Ohio State.
Yes. Next time, you know what we do? We make the U.S. Ryder Cup team have to go on the Pat McAfee show and get ridiculed. Got to toughen them up. Believable. Think about it. Now we're sending Ryan Day to give tough man pep talks to the U.S. Ryder Cup team. Do we suck.
I'd like to see where Lou Holtz is now.
Well, he's an 85-year-old guy. He's having tapioca pudding somewhere, but okay.
Besides, he doubled down.
Yeah.
Even after the fact. Didn't bother Lou one bit. He just apologized to the coach saying, when I make those comments, I should be coaching. I don't like leaving you out there to hang to dry over my comments. Miller and Moulton. Our picks are coming up in 25 minutes. Thanks for listening right here on the Florida Sports Network.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Good news is Max Homa made a birdie on one, so we tied that hole. Well, the good news is Homa made a birdie on one, so we only halved that hole in that match.
Oh, okay, good. So have we gotten the app thing fixed?
Yes.
Can I ask Felipe what's like I asked see apparently they don't have board ops anymore. So like he said that when they leave after their show, he flips the switch. Okay, so he flipped the stream when he left to be compliant so that they weren't streaming the NFL. So is the studio to stream button not working?
That's what was happening. And I just shut the whole thing off.
Is there something we need to talk to them about?
I think this might have just been a computing error. Like the computer needed to turn off and turn back on. Just because the button was like frozen.
I can't express how big this is because the signals of these two stations stink.
Mm-hmm.
Stink. As many people are listening to us on the app as are on the radio.
Right.
Hey.
No.
We want a hole.
No. No way.
Now we lost the first two in the one match, so
Which one did we win? Shoffley?
No, Justin Thomas and Jordan Spieth won a hole. So they're one down now instead of two down.
Oh, my score is behind. I had them one down through three.
That's where they are. One down through three. Maybe they just pushed that hole. I thought they might have just changed the number. Okay. Sorry. So no, they didn't. Rahm missed a short birdie putt.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network.
21 minutes past the hour, top of the morning to you. Miller and Moulton, the Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Pat Kirwan to join us in 40 minutes time. We just had Lee Sterling on. He's had 3 straight winning weeks. Hell, Mark Miller's had 3 straight winning weeks. He's going for 4. I'll give you a hint. He's feeling it. Or he's trying to make up because he bet on the U.S. to win the Ryder Cup. And man, do we suck. How many holes have we won so far in the afternoon, Mark, in 4 matches?
None.
There you go. Thank you. How many points did the United States get in the 4 morning matches?
That, David, would be, wait for it, none.
Here you go. There's your Ryder Cup update. Now it's time for NBC to take 7 minutes worth of commercials before they hit their second shots into the par 4. We'll make our picks coming up in about 20 minutes' time. Hey, can we just take a moment or two? It's been a great sports year so far. I mean, it really has. March Madness was exceptional. We had a 16 beat a 1. We had FAU go to the Final Four. I mean, this is, we had a Super Bowl. It came down to the last play. I mean, sports is so delivered for us again. But Mark, the Baltimore Orioles just won the American League East. Won 100 games. They still got 3 left. The Arizona Diamondbacks are a win away from making the playoffs. The Miami Marlins may make the playoffs. I mean, nobody's going to watch these playoffs, but they're bat blank crazy.
They are. And, you look at the little run the Florida Panthers went on. Boston with a historic NHL season last year. What happens to them in the first round? They go down.
Boom. Right. I mean, this has just been, and this 3 weeks in, we only have 3 unbeatens. I mean, hell, the 72 Dolphins nearly popping the champagne before October. I mean, it's crazy. college football this year. We don't know if we have a great team. We think this would have been an incredible year for a 12-team playoff. Because if we had a 12-team playoff, don't you think there'd be about 8-9 teams that we honestly think could have won the national title this year?
Yes, because there are 8-9 teams that we think could be part of the 4 teams right now. I mean, you look at how good the Pac-12 is. You look at Texas. You look at Florida State. You look at an SEC champ. You look at the 3 teams in the Big Ten. There's a lot of good out there. You're right, David. We don't know if anything's great, but there's a lot of good this year in college football.
Yeah, I didn't even go so far as to say a lot of very good. I think we got a lot of B+. A lot of B+ in college football this year. Trying to figure out how many A's. How many A's do we have?
And speaking of the A's, we had nearly historic seasons out of them where they're going to lose 105, 107 games this year.
I think they're already at like 109 or 110. It's staggering how many losses they have. They're like the U.S. on the road in the Ryder Cup. I mean, man, are they bad. But we digress. So, I mean, we got what? Duke and Syracuse that are unbeaten in football, right? Aren't they both unbeaten in football? I just heading into October? Nuts.
In case you just missed it, Lee Sterling picking Duke outright to beat Notre Dame on Saturday.
Wow. What's he think? Notre Dame going to play with 10 the whole time? Do you know people have uncovered that they gave up a touchdown earlier in the season with only 10 men on the field defensively? I think it was to Tennessee State, the second game of the year that was on Weekak. They gave up like a 35-yard touchdown pass, and it turned out they only had 10 guys on the field for the play. So, needless to say, there's a glitch in the system there.
I thought Notre Dame was a really good school. You would think they could count to 11 there.
I know. They have academic standards and everything.
Right.
Just apparently not amongst their assistant coaches. But anyway. Whew. At least get somebody up in the booth who can count. Who knew that Marcus Freeman and his staff needed a spotter?
It's embarrassing.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, it is. As a matter of fact, it is. Almost as embarrassing as the New York Mets ground crew, but I digress. Oh, man, Felipe shaking his head like, if the Mets ground crew costs my team a playoff spot, Moulton, so help me, I'm going to take it out on you and stab you in the neck.
I feel like Skip Schumacher last night. I don't know if you guys caught how visibly upset he was.
Felipe, this is how much guilt. Now, granted, Mark can justify, I'm a Catholic, so I already walk around with a little bit of guilt. Okay, but this is how badly I feel for the Marlins. The Mets are probably my second favorite team in the world. After the Mets won the first game of the doubleheader the other night, honestly, I have wanted the Marlins to win the next 2 games. I feel as if my favorite team's organizational ineptitude was getting in the way of the Marlins. Now, think about that. That's how inept my organization is to get in the way of the Marlins. But we have, and I'm like the owner of the Mets. I'm sorry.
You know, I appreciate your apology, and this is a fantastic transition into the play of the day because the Marlins, after splitting that doubleheader the day before yesterday, they go into the 8th inning down 0-1, and Jazz Chisholm Jr. is once again clutch late in games.
Here's the 3-2 pitch from Kay to Chisholm. And a swing and a fly ball in the air. Left center field. Look, Castro's going back. Look it up. It's off the top of the wall. The Marlins tie it here with the 9th. Chisholm an RBI double. The comeback kids are at it again. We're tied at 1. Wow. That ball was smoked to the gap in left center field. An RBI double for Jazz Chisholm Jr. Miami has tied it here in the 9th.
Now, I said 8th. I meant 9th. Kyle Seeloff there on the call. Thank you for correcting me. His energy, incredible, by the way, in this late season run. And then Yuli Gurriel comes up and takes the lead.
Here's the 2-2 pitch to Gurriel from Kay. And he swings it, he hits it. On the line into left field, the base hit for Gurriel. Chisholm's going to score. Chisholm's going to score. The Marlins have taken a 2-1 lead here in the ninth inning.
And from that moment on, rain delay. The game is postponed. The ninth inning.
No, it's suspended.
It's suspended. Big difference. If it was postponed, it wouldn't have counted. It's suspended. The runs count. They'll pick the game up if they need to Monday at 1:00.
That's right.
So the Marlins right now, it's kind of, is that like when you play poker and you got a wild card? Okay. Is that what the Marlins kind of have in their pocket right now? It's like the get out of jail free card in Monopoly. They got a 2-1 lead in the ninth. All right. In the ninth. And they can just kind of put that in their back pocket. Like, if we need this, we'll finish this game.
And the Cubs are doing enough for them as it is.
Right.
The Cubs are doing everything they can do to try to get the Marlins in the postseason.
I've never loved the Braves as much as I have these last 2
I
days.
know.
And I hate the Braves, but I love the Braves now. Acuna, amazing. MVP. Matt Olson, just keep hitting home runs.
That's right. I will say, when you got the Braves and the Brewers on the road for the last week of the year, it's only the 1 and the 3 seeds in the National League. I mean, it's not the easiest home stretch for the Cubs. And so far, they're 0-3 in it. But yeah. So that was the Marlins last night. Hey, imagine, by the way, and we love Kyle Seeloff, friend of the show. But Mark, imagine if they actually get to the playoffs, what he'll sound like doing a playoff game.
Or once they clinch that spot.
Or if that's how he sounds in game number 159.
I have chills thinking about this moment.
He's in playoff mode, David. He is in playoff mode. When we come back, we'll make our picks, update you on what's going on in Rome with the Ryder Cup, all ahead. Plus, Pat Kirwan at the top of the 8 o'clock hour right here on the Florida Sports Network.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again.
Hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here.
Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're going to have to go around again.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Live is the official transportation provider of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Live is supported with the help of local partners like the Bayfront Inn. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone on 5th Avenue in downtown Naples. BayfrontInNaples.com. When you need a ride, book with Salt Live Transportation, 308-8686, or book on saltlivetransportation.com.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Johnny Mac, what are you talking about? Inter Miami won the League's Cup.
Oh, my goodness. We won a hole.
We won a hole, David. We're tied in the JT Spieth match.
Oh, my goodness. I didn't think it was allowed.
Well, that's all right. We went down on the other match at the same time because Rose made a birdie.
Oh, good. Yeah. Listen, I don't want to say Europe's a better team than a lot of U.S. golf writers were saying, but I mean, they just brought Matthew Fitzpatrick and Justin Rose off the bench for the afternoon. Just so you know, no big deal or anything. It's only two guys that won the U.S. Open. I have 6. I nearly had 5. I threw one in because I said, listen, I've had nothing but winning weeks once I've gone, so I got to keep that going. Be like not wearing my lucky socks or something. Paul, it's inexplainable, actually. If a player was as bad as Angel Hernandez, they would no longer be in the majors. If a manager or a front office executive was that bad, they would no longer be a manager or have a job. Even in certain organizations, which go, I don't know, so-and-so was, eventually they get fired. The fact that Angel Hernandez has not been fired is a black mark on Major League Baseball. Okay? He's not a Major League caliber umpire. Hasn't been for a long time. I don't know how they can't rectify that. I understand there's a union. You can get rid of a bad teacher. It's not easy, but you can do it.
I mean, my dad had to fire people all the time from the UAW. It can be done. It's hard.
Yes.
It was difficult.
It is hard.
It'd take 3 or 4 write-ups to actually get the person out.
But
he is a terrible representation of the Cuban American community.
Well, forget that. And, and if that's your reason for keeping him, then no offense, find another Cuban American umpire in the minors and train him.
Whoa, wait a minute. We won another hole.
Whoa, take it easy now.
3 of the 4 matches are tied.
Oh, a little Koepka Scheffler action.
Oh, this could be good. Nope, pulled it. Well, that's not an easy shot.
Well, that's my point, RCB. I mean, Manfred negotiates these deals with the umpires union. I mean, I don't know why they, listen, Las Diaz is kind of on the edge, too, as to whether or not he's a Major League caliber umpire anymore. His strike zone's terrible, and his demeanor's not good either. I just don't think you can have a part of the operation in which it's okay to be that bad at your job and not lose your job. Listen, I don't know the country Joe West should have been allowed to stay around as long as he did.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen, in the sports world. We very rarely have it during Miller and Moulton because of the hours that we were on the air, but we have breaking news. I think it vaults right over a developing situation right to breaking news.
We've won holes, and by we, I mean the USA has won holes in 2 matches to tie up the first 2 matches of the day 1 4 balls. The U.S. now tied in 3 of the 4 matches, losing in 1 up. All early going in today's afternoon Ryder Cup 4-ball matches.
You heard it. The United States actually won a couple of holes in the Ryder Cup. Once again, breaking news. This just into the Miller and Moulton Studios. Team USA has actually won a couple of holes in the Ryder Cup. We'll continue to investigate this story. When we get further information, we will pass it along to you. Now back to regularly scheduled programming already in progress. Wow. That's stunning developments across the pond. Whew. I was beginning to think it wasn't allowed, that we signed like some sort of treaty or something, some agreement. Oh, by the way, here's the deal. You continue to give all this to the Ukraine, and you're not allowed to win holes in the Ryder Cup. Wait. I didn't see that. What am I signing here? So
a rough start as the U.S. lost all 4 of the morning matches, down 4-0.
Right.
Trying to figure out a way to get a couple of points this afternoon.
Uh-huh. Not only did we lose the first 4 matches, then the first 2 matches in the afternoon, we lost the first hole in both. Right. Yep.
The U.S. is not led in a match yet.
There you go. Once again, this is the best we have.
And it is, and it's a really good team.
We suck. We're so soft. Honestly. We're the Denver Broncos defense. All right. Unbelievable. Seriously. That should be in fact, that's what NBC should do. Who televised that game? CBS? The Dolphins Broncos game? They should call CBS, get permission. Every single time Europe wins a hole, show a Dolphins touchdown and go, we've seen this before.
I have nothing to rebut this with because
we spent the first 2 days of this week, every 20 or so minutes, interrupting the show going, hold on a second. The Dolphins have scored another touchdown. Are we going to on Monday or Tuesday, every 20 minutes, stop and go, hold on a second. Europe's just won another hole in the Ryder Cup. Man, oh man, get it together. Show some pride. Red, white, or blue. I don't know. William and Mary. I mean, something.
I've got to say, I don't like our hats for what it's worth. I don't mind the wardrobe, but the hats, the USA hats, I'm not fond of them.
How can we keep screwing uniforms up?
Could be a me thing. That could be a me thing. That we have the right colors on our uniforms.
No, you're right. That hat is trash.
Okay.
That hat is
you're
not
a young guy. I'm an old guy. Very different in our wardrobe, what we like, but I don't like
right.
the hat at all.
And I know it's golf. It's an older demographic, but young people decide what's popular these days.
And the golfers are younger. I mean, these guys are These guys are in their 20s.
Terrible. And by the way, Europe's uniform is also terrible. There's no swag at all. I like the USA polos, though.
All right. We got to do some picks, David. After the Ryder Cup update.
Okay. All right. For what it's worth, Mark Miller, 3 straight winning weeks. I mean, what's your overall record? I wrote it down. It's impressive. It's like 12-8, I think. Something like that.
Sounds right.
I had to have an out-of-body experience last week just to get to 500. I'm 13-13. And if you want to know, well, wait a minute. How come he's got 20 picks and you have 26? That's part of my charm.
Well, and I pulled a Moulton. I'm not going to lie.
Uh-oh. That doesn't sound good.
I'm 11-8 on the season for the record.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right.
The Notre Dame game.
Yeah, Notre Dame, Ohio State push. Okay.
I had wrote down my 5 games last night watching Lions and Packers.
Right.
And I got here this morning and went, wait a minute. I forgot about 2 games that I had to pick.
Uh-oh. So did you take away 2?
Super 7.
Yeah. All right. It's to make up for the money you're losing on Team USA in the Ryder Cup. So, okay.
Because I'm taking Washington until they don't cover. And they're laying 19.5 at Arizona. Washington scoring on everybody. Give me the Huskies. And I'm surprised the USC line's as low as it is.
What are you talking about? It's like 21.5.
Yeah. I thought it would be higher than that.
Wow.
I thought it'd be 24, 25. I'd love it to be 21. I'll take it at 21.5. Give me USC. Those are the two games I forgot about. Let's get to the ones I wrote down.
Now hold on. Just to review, ladies and gentlemen, that's USC at Coach Prime.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. 10 a.m. local kick, by the way. 9 a.m. for the USC, player clock, internal clock there. Okay.
I got you.
All right.
All right. Ole Miss played a very physical game and lost. I don't think they can play two physical games back to back like this, and LSU will be physical with them. I like LSU. It's a small number on the road. It's a 2.5. I think LSU can cover that number against Ole Miss.
It's in Oxford.
I know.
Back to back, Ole Miss has to play Alabama and LSU. 2.5, the number you're going, LSU. Got it.
And I can't figure out why Georgia's only a 14.5 point favorite against Auburn. I know it's in Auburn. I get it. I know this is a rivalry game. I get it. But Georgia seems to have found their offense, and Auburn's not a very good football team. Give me the dogs. I'm going to lay the 14.5. And I don't trust what Kentucky's done this year, and I think Florida's found something. I thought they found it against Kentucky. I think they just went through a scrimmage last week. I'm not worried about what happened against Charlotte. I don't think they were showing a whole lot in that game. I'm going head-to-head with Lee. I think the Gators get it done on the road. Give me Florida +1.
Oh, you may hear that again.
To Sunday, Tennessee is not a good football team. The Bengals have been bad, but they found a little something last week. I think the Bengals keep on rolling because it's so important for Cincinnati's already playing must-win football in September, October, whatever the case may be. Give me the Bengals and lay the 2.5 against the Titans. And, David, I don't think your Giants are good. In fact, I think they're bad. And I still think Seattle's a good football team. A road win for Seattle. Do you know Seattle's never lost at MetLife Stadium?
Including a Super Bowl.
Give me Seattle laying the 1.5 against the Giants.
Well, Mark and I have two of the same picks. I went with a Sweet Six this week. Sweet Six. We both like the Gators getting the point at Kentucky. The reason I like the Gators is I think Kentucky, these teams are very evenly matched. You can go unit against unit and do the matchups. This is probably a one-play game. What I'm counting on is Napier will play a conservative and give Kentucky the chance to lose the game. And I think the Gators are going to get a defensive turnover in the fourth quarter because Kentucky is going to have to throw it and Florida is going to get a pick. And the Gators, who may have a kicker for the first time in a while, okay, are going to win a close one. I'm going 23-21 Gators. And Mark, if I could back up your Seahawks-Giants pick, Mark, do you know who the worst team is in the history of Monday Night Football?
The New York Giants?
It's the New York Giants, Mark. It is the New York Giants. Mark, do you know who the best team is in the history of Monday Night Football?
Based on where you're going here, let me just guess. Seattle?
It's the Seattle Seahawks with a winning percentage of 71%. Mark, how many consecutive Monday Night Football games have the Giants lost? Pick a number.
7.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! He's on fire, folks. He's on fire. 7 consecutive Monday Night Football games and 9 out of 10. Mark, everybody picks on Kirk Cousins and his primetime record. Mark, what's Daniel Jones' record in primetime?
Not good, David. Not good at all.
Well, he's played 11 primetime games. Would you care to take a guess as to how many of them he's won?
Is it 2-9?
It would be 1-10.
Ooh, worse than I thought.
So, to review, worst Monday Night Football team ever against the best. 7 consecutive Monday night losses. Quarterback of the Giants, 1-10 in prime time. Saquon not going to be 100% and is going to try to play. Geno Smith loves sticking it to the Giants because they mistreated him when he was backing up Eli, and they benched Eli for him and then benched him after a couple quarters, and he never forgot it. So those are the two we agree upon. Quickly, I like BYU at home tonight in a virtual pick'em against Cincinnati. What am I missing here? This is not last year's Cincinnati's team, never mind the year before. BYU lost one game. It's at undefeated Kansas. They're home for Cincinnati. They're an underdog. Please tell me, what am I missing? BYU getting a point and a half tonight. Mark, Lee is betting hard against Notre Dame in the letdown after the loss to Ohio State. Syracuse, undefeated Syracuse, at home with a noon kickoff against Clemson. Clemson has a history in the Dome. It's not that good. This is a game that Syracuse has circled since the offseason. They don't care that Clemson's 2-2. It's Clemson. I'm getting 6.5 at home with the orange. Give me the Cuse. And Mark, there are times in which I adhere to your theory of gambling. Mark, if you had to rate the East Carolina football team, how would you rate them?
They suck. They're a bad football team.
With that in mind, they're going on the road. They're facing Rice. Rice, just saw them last week. They're okay. South Florida
Rice
got
is
the better
also
of
a
them.
bad football team.
Okay, but are they as bad as East Carolina? I'm only laying 3.5 with Rice. I like Rice. White or wild brown, throw in some spices and onions. I like Rice. And Carolina has a chance to have the first overall pick of the draft. Of course, they traded it away, but that's a whole other story. I don't think Carolina's very good. Their offensive line's a disaster. Bryce Young's coming back this week, and he's got a bad ankle and can't move. I love the Vikings. I would actually play the Vikings, sinless Vikings, in a suicide automatic elimination pool. I really would. That's how much I love the Vikings this week against Carolina. Give me Minnesota, lay the 4.
So I had a Super 7. David had a Sweet 6. Lee Sterling stuck to the number of 5. Moulton going with Florida, BYU, Syracuse, Rice, the Vikings, and Seattle. I'm taking Washington, LSU, Georgia, Florida, USC, and then on Sunday, Cincinnati and Seattle.
Look at you, by the way. First off, 6 favorites, and the only underdog's getting a point. And secondly, look at the brands that you took in college. USC, LSU, Georgia, Washington, Florida. Look at you. I'm with BYU, Syracuse, Rice.
Yeah. Brand names. The big box stores.
Yep.
Let me take them, David. Let me take them on.
Brand names, big favorites. Yep, that's me. I'm Mark Flippin Miller, and I approve of this message.
Don't know what to tell you. 3 big spreads, 3-4 virtual pick'ems. So,
no, I love. You're back to doing what? Playing your big brand names and laying points. This is where you're comfortable. This is where you live. Besides, you got 3 straight winning weeks.
See if we can make it 4 and give you some more winners. Trying to, we got out of September, me with a winning record, you back to 500, David. And now we'll see how things progress as we get into October on the weekend's games. Miller and Moulton. Text line is open at 21,000. Anything you want to chime in on, you can always. In fact, we've got a poll question. How do you take your coffee? It's National Coffee Day. Do you take it black? Do you take it with cream? Do you take it with cream and sugar? Or do you take it with just sugar? You non-coffee drinkers aren't allowed to have a vote.
Or vote how the favorite person in your life takes their coffee. So
There you go. Pat Kirwan. We'll ask him how he takes his coffee and figure out how he thinks the week's going to go in the NFL. That's next right here on Miller and Moulton.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to make sure you're shopping with the best. And the best when it comes to GIA certified diamonds and diamond jewelry is not online. It's not in the malls. And it's not with any of the new pop-up jewelry stores trying to make a go of it here in Southwest Florida. The best place to buy diamonds is with my friends Jason and Todd at the Diamond District, who have made Southwest Florida their home for over 20 years now. The largest selection of GIA certified diamonds is with the Diamond District. The only place you'll find diamonds 8 to 10% over cost is with the Diamond District. America's top bridal designers have chosen the Diamond District to represent their engagement rings exclusively in Southwest Florida. Simply put, the best selection, experience, and best prices are with Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Good morning, Mark.
Hi, Pat. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I like your picks, and I also like that you're running away with it, I'd like to think.
Off to a pretty good start.
David's
I've shockingly been getting David in the weekly picks, which just picking straight up NFL games, which he is, I would say, of the 17 years we've been doing a show, I don't know if I've ever beaten David head-to-head NFL picks.
Don't stop now. You're on a roll. He is trying to talk you into taking risk picks, and you're not doing it. I love it.
Well, this is
without even knowing what the records were, I saw desperation in David's voice when he was trying to convince you, oh, you're taking all the good teams. I'm taking Rice.
Nope. No, please, Mark's found his groove early. This is how Mark gambles right here. He's found it early.
Well, Mark, this week I'm giving points at almost every game.
Are you?
Yep. The only two games I'm struggling with, Rams and Colts and Tampa and New Orleans. I can't stand the thought of betting on Jameis Winston.
I'm with you.
I'm worried about the Bucs secondary, though.
Yeah, that's the receivers. Those two games are the hardest ones for me to see clearly.
You give New England much of a shot going into Dallas?
Nope. I think they'll be very angry in Dallas. I think New England will beat the teams they should beat, but they don't have a defier, someone who's going to go win the game for them. I had Dan Campbell on just before he went to. He was literally going to Green Bay like the next hour. I knew they were going to win. He was like so pumped for that game.
They just bullied him in the first half.
Yeah, I love that their coach up there, Matt, had a meltdown. He had a meltdown at halftime and a meltdown at the end. You know, the two teams that said, I was laughing about this with Jim yesterday, Minnesota and Chicago. Chicago gets rid of Montgomery. Minnesota gets rid of Cook, and they haven't won a game between them. All of a sudden,
Well,
they did.
Montgomery looks like the guy everybody thought he was going to be. It's amazing what happens when you put an offensive line in front of someone.
Yep. He's a bull.
I mean, he's obviously better than the kid they let go last year that was their, short yardage rusher. Kid's in New Orleans right now.
Jamal.
Yeah.
Jamal Williams.
Yeah. Felipe, how are you?
I am great. I mean, I'm pissed because the Mets are screwing up their field and the Marlins are trying to make the playoffs right now, but I'm
Felipe,
great.
I'm going to go on a limb here. No one cares about baseball.
Come on.
It's like watching.
And
grass
certainly not the Marlins.
I know, but I'm the only Marlins fan in this area. The
What's
only
that
Marlins
tell
fan
you?
on earth.
Yeah.
Hey, it's okay. The Dolphins are going after the Miami Heat's crown to take over Miami once again.
You're not going to like my pick in that game, then.
Oh, we're coming back.
I don't.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Third and final hour of Miller and Moulton along the network. We're halfway home for those in the 239 as the Diamond District bonus hour awaits 1 hour from now. If it's the 8 o'clock hour on a Friday and it's the football season, that means Pat Kirwan. He of NFL Radio is moving the chains 3 to 7 weekdays, 2 to 5 on Saturday. And he's part of CBS's NFL Today show. So that means he works every day for like 5-6 months. No big deal or anything. His appearance brought to you courtesy of Pinchers. Tampa to Key West, dozen locations in between Pinchers because you can't fake fresh. We have awarded the Lions the NFC North Championship, hats and T-shirts and everything. You okay with that?
Absolutely. And just talking to Campbell this week, it's amazing how many young. If you just look at this draft class, this will rival Pete Carroll's draft class of last year. The amount of contributors they have that are just rookies. And then you add on the second year guys, Hutchinson and those guys. This is a very young team. The first thing I'd be doing is extending Goff for at least 2 years and taking my time with Hendon Hooker. That'd be the way I'd go because everything else is in place.
Pat, everybody talks about the Lions and the way they scored last year, and their defense wasn't very good. The second half of the season, the defense got better. Last night, I know it was a banged-up line for the Packers, but when you play a team that's banged up, you take advantage of it, and Detroit bullied them at the line of scrimmage, particularly their defensive line.
They absolutely did. I'm happy for Aaron Glenn, one of my former guys, and he was on the ropes last year as a coach. People thought he was not going to make it. I knew Campbell wouldn't fire him, but he really had to get better, and they did. And now they have real flashes of excellence, and they're only going to get better because they can rush the passer. They have Branch and those guys. Hope Branch is healthy. We'll see. There's a lot to like. But last night, to your point, Mark, when you forced 5 drives of 3 plays, and you had a lot of drives, add on the 1-play drive for interception, the 5-play drive, they just weren't going to give it up. And 21, I thought it was 23 yards, but I corrected myself this morning, 21 yards in the first half. They're playing really good football on defense. And wait till you see Jack Campbell, when he settles in as the Mike linebacker. They're loaded at linebacker, and sooner or later he's going to be going out there. The funniest thing this week, I think Thursdays is the day of humor because assistant coaches, coordinators get to talk. And the two that struck me as now I know why I knew all along, Eric Bieniemy in those interviews for head coaching jobs, just the way he describes things. We're cleaning up this, you know what he called it, which is a realistic look. But the guy that dazzled me, I can't wait for David to tell me, when Luke Getzey says we're building something special here, what the heck?
Not yet.
Yeah, maybe not ever. Who knows? But assistant coaches say funny things. And I thought Jimmy Schwartz was hysterical. We're going to take the fight to Lamar. That guy doesn't think anything but forward at full speed. Watch out for Cleveland's defense.
No doubt that's been one of the, I don't know about surprises, Pat, but that has certainly been one of the stories of the year because that division's loaded. And, well, let's get right to that game. What do you think about Baltimore and Cleveland this week?
Well, for me, the answer lies in how healthy is Watson. Watson flashed last week, the Houston Texans Watson. He played like he used to play. And if he can play like that, and maybe he's on the start of the role of doing that, I love the defense. Overcoming Chubb is going to be a problem sooner or later. But in the meantime, I like Cleveland in this game. I think there's issues with Baltimore health-wise. They're not as healthy. And I think Jimmy has a real sense of how to handle and corral Lamar. Lamar is going to run the ball. Without those linemen available, he'll run the ball 15 times, maybe 14. But the idea with those wide nines is to keep him corralled.
All right, let's get into a few more games. I know we've got you for a couple of segments, Pat, but let's talk about Miami. Let's break down Miami and Buffalo because Miami obviously is the talk of the league right now. They score 70 points, and this is what we do in the NFL, and we overreact to their scoring. But Buffalo has been crushing teams as well. This is Miami's speed too much for Buffalo?
It's too much for almost everybody if you let the speed be speed. I think you got to play coverages that you're just going to not let, and they won't. I think they'll double Tyreek all the time. Buffalo, you're going to have to put up points. Buffalo can put up points. They're at home. They've got a very good record against Miami. Yes, some of the games are close, but Josh is brutal against these guys. And he'll run too now. Against Miami, the guy has rushed for over 8 yards a carry, and he's going to run, I would say, 15 times. Yeah, he'll slide a little bit for the head coach, but I like Buffalo up there being in a physical game. You're right about overreaction. We overreact to getting shut out as well. So the other side of the 70 points is when you have a goose egg. So many teams that get shut out win the next week. It's pro football. It's not college football.
Pat, don't you think, though, that this game could be the Bills' defensive front, which has been really good this year? All right, I got to give them credit. I've been hard on those young linemen who I felt have been overpaid, overhyped, and hadn't produced. And they've played really well for 3 games against the Dolphins' offensive line, which has far surpassed what it was we thought they were capable of. If the Dolphins block the Bills, Buffalo's in trouble.
That's true. If they block, because the quarterback is a rhythm passer, and so far no one's really getting to him. 1 sack and about 5 hits. So I'm fine with that. But Ed Oliver, a guy that David, we didn't think they should pay Ed Oliver.
Nope.
And Ed Oliver is leading the league in hits on the quarterback. So I do think their front will get after him. What I like about Buffalo's defense is the safeties. I think those safeties make it hard. They disguise their coverages better than anybody. They can get the quarterback to make mistakes with the football. And Tua is a rhythm passer. He's going to try to get it out fast, and I think you're going to see the safeties play a big role in this defense. Most of the quarterbacks I talk to as the year goes on always tell me that Buffalo makes it harder on them than almost anybody. It's just quarterback's view.
When Miami goes to a 21 personnel and they run the 2 backs, what is that going to do to Buffalo? Because it seems that obviously when they're throwing both backs out there, that's creating problems for defenses, Pat.
A lot of teams, this is a Phil Simms pet peeve right here. I think half the league's carrying a fullback, and Phil loves to track teams. He comes from the era of the fullback, and he saw the fullback disappear, and he loves teams that have a fullback. And I say it all the time. Everyone let the defenses cheat and become undersized speed rush defenses. They're all 225-pound Mike backers and 240-pound defensive ends, and you really can't let them get away with it. A fullback in the game and a tight end, and all of a sudden you can play power football. Tighten down your splits and go after them. I do like teams that are playing with a fullback. And some of these people on defense, the young coordinators, they if you were a college coordinator and came into the NFL from the college ranks, you haven't played against a fullback in your career. So it's fun to see what the fullback can still do.
Tampa Bay, New Orleans. This is a game that we circled months ago. We thought this was the key game of the Bucs season. We didn't know if they'd be 2-1 or 1-2 when they went to New Orleans, but we thought either way they'd need it to save their season, keep it going, or they'd need it to say we're contenders to the end in the NFC South. Pat, what concerns me is their secondary's really banged up. Now, I know it's Jameis, but in theory, shouldn't Olave and Michael Thomas win this game for the Saints?
They should, and it's really down to the two quarterbacks. I have a hard time picking Jameis. I said to you guys off air before we went on, this and the Ram-Colt game are the two hardest games for me. I've gone back and forth on this one, and I find myself, I hate to think that I just want Tampa to win because I talk to Todd Bowles every week, and I like Baker. But your point about the receivers always puts me back to Jameis. I think I'm going to take Tampa and let Todd Bowles get after Jameis because I think there's an element to the game. Yeah, I have no defense for covering those receivers. They're awesome. But I think Todd Bowles will have ways to really confuse Jameis and hit him. And that's where I think the mistakes could come. So but New Orleans defense is so darn good. What are they? Do they ever give up 20 points? I don't think so.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you, Pat. Can Tampa get to 20? Because at the end of the day, this New Orleans defense, you just said it, they're very, very good. And Tampa, who relies on Evans so much, Evans doesn't have a lot of success against New Orleans.
I know. I have no answer for that. I just kind of think Todd is going to create problems for Jameis and force a mistake or two extra. And New Orleans, yeah, they give up under 20. Tampa Bay scores under 20. It's really take the home team, but I'm not doing it. I'm taking Tampa.
By the way, the over-under is 39.5. I think that would be my play in this game. I don't see 40. Unless we get defensive scores, which I think both teams are capable of doing to the other. But unless we get them, I think this game screams under. Listen, we got a couple minutes before our first break. The Jags, what the heck? And now they're facing a team that's just good enough to beat them if they don't bring their BB plus game to London in Atlanta.
I'm taking Jaguars. I see them as a bounce back team. I think that the quarterback is good enough. He hasn't played great. I said this to you guys on Tuesday. Go in the red zone and don't come out of the red zone all week. Just practice scoring in the red zone. I'll take Trevor Lawrence in that game. I talked to Arthur. Arthur called the show from the plane. They were closing the door. And when he said, I got to go now, we're closing the door. And so he's bringing a young team with a quarterback that hasn't won a road game against Trevor Lawrence, who was embarrassed. His team was embarrassed. I'll take Jacksonville. What do I have to give you? 3 points? You can have them.
I think we're all in agreement there. Besides, it's Jacksonville's home away from home. This is something that they're used to, and you mentioned it. That's the other part for Atlanta. I mean, they didn't do much on the road last week against Detroit. I don't expect them to do much on the road this week because Ritter's just still learning, isn't he?
He is. And now Jacksonville's staying over there to play another one. They're 4-5 in London, so it's not exactly been a home field advantage for them. But it's, for me, it's Trevor Lawrence and Doug Peterson. He's a professional coach. He'll have him bounce back. Arthur's going to try to run his way to a victory. I mean, that's his choice here. That's what he's been doing. He hasn't really gotten the ball to the receiver or the tight end as much as you would think their talent warrants them getting the ball. I just like what I see from Jackson. Doug Peterson is a guy that has overcome stuff before. I think you guys have seen it the way I do.
I know the 44 winning percentage doesn't sound like a lot, but we're talking about the Jags here. That actually could be a home field advantage of 44 winning percentage, but I digress. He's Pat Kirwan. NFL Radio's Moving the Chains and the NFL Today Show. More with Pat Kirwan on the other side. Miller and Moulton will go through the NFL games following Pat here on, well, Miller and Moulton.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Worth.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again.
Hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here.
Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're going to have to go around again.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Live is the official transportation provider of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Live is supported with the help of local partners like the Bayfront Inn. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone on 5th Avenue in downtown Naples. BayfrontInNaples.com. When you need a ride, book with Salt Live Transportation, 308-8686, or book on saltlivetransportation.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Locked into the Ryder Cup this morning, Pat.
Oh yeah, it's fun. Are you looking at it now?
Oh, got it on now. We're down in we're up in one match, down in two, and tied in the other after getting shut out this morning.
How's the weather down by you? It's pouring here like there's no tomorrow.
It's perfect.
Getting close.
Starting to cool down just a touch finally.
Yep.
Not a whole lot, but it's, you see it.
Well, won't be long now for me.
Middle of next month?
I always go November 1st, but I'm going to go down earlier. My wife's going to be away in Europe with my old friend Greg Robinson's wife. So I'll go down the last week of October.
Well, you always know. Holler if you need rides or anything.
Yep.
You know how close I am to the damn airport. You don't need to make Steve come up from Goodland to pick you up.
Yeah, I guess sometimes those night flights, I would never call anybody. They get in at 1 o'clock in the morning or something on Sunday nights. By then I'm flying up on Saturday and flying back on Sunday, so I just have my car at the parking lot.
Just leave it there, right?
Yeah. It's not like Newark Airport now. I think it's $55 a day to park at Newark Airport.
It's 24 in Jacksonville.
Yeah, 55. The parking is more expensive than the flight every week. And I have friends that would drive me, but it doesn't work out. They'd have to come into Manhattan on a Sunday night, which try to get through the Lincoln Tunnel on Sunday night. You can't do it. And I've tried with a car service friend of mine and everything else, but if they keep pushing the price up, I probably will just start flying down on Monday mornings and get my car service guy. He's an old retired cop. He's a great guy. He just likes to talk football. He'll pick me up at any time just to shoot the shit all the way to the airport, especially Monday mornings. He's going to bet on Monday Night Football. I go, don't be listening to me. He'll drive me any Monday morning I ask.
He can't DC. He's got the radio show.
David, so I asked him about when you blacked out there, Baltimore-Cleveland's the only other game other than Florida games we talked about. Okay. Just as Pat started there, so I finished there.
Pat, I'm going to ask you one question before we get into the games, okay?
Sure. I've had you ask me 100 questions in 4 hours before, so one question is no big deal.
No, I understand.
Oh, the guys in blue just keep rolling putts in.
Imagine that. It must be the Ryder Cup. One side makes putts and the other side doesn't. Huh.
You don't even have to tell me how it's going, Mark. I'm looking right at you. Yeah. Your chin is on your hand. Your glasses are off. And
Pat, here's the thing.
Now we're back into commercial.
Here's the thing. Right. Well, it's NBC, so we're back in break. Pat, Mark made his LA Chargers mistake with Mark has always picked Europe in the Ryder Cup. And I'm the one always sticking up for Team USA. So I've bailed on the Chargers and I've bailed on Team USA. Mark can't bail on the Chargers. That's his diva wide receiver. He can't give them up. And he picked Team USA to win the Ryder Cup this time around. So hence the long face.
Well, and I watched all the way until about 4.5 minutes left in the Lions game when I went to bed last night and got up at 2:50 to start watching the Ryder Cup.
That means you took a nap. You'll be useless after your radio show today.
The golf could be bad. I've got a noon tee time. It could be really ugly.
Oh, you'll play good.
Yes.
You're so tired, you'll swing slow.
I totally agree. Best round of golf I ever played in my life was an all-nighter. I totally agree.
That's why it's not a sport. It's a game.
Damn right it is. I totally agree with you, Pat. Takes an incredible amount of skill to be good at it, but you don't have to be an athlete.
I know plenty of guys that really could not play or perform in any sport, and they are good golfers.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
10 more minutes with Pat Kirwan. He of NFL Radio's moving the chains 3 to 7 weekdays, 2 to 5 on Saturdays during the NFL season. He's also part of CBS's NFL Today show. They've got the Super Bowl this year in Vegas. Pat joins us twice a week, courtesy of Pinchers, Tampa to Key West, dozen locations in between Pinchers because you can't fake fresh. Pat, we'll get to the rest of the games and get your picks in a minute. Can you take me through the end of the third quarter last night? How can you not? You can review the clock at the end of a half. You can't review the clock at the end of a quarter? I mean, the play shouldn't have counted. What the heck? What do we have replay for?
Well, it's a pick and choose replay world, isn't it?
Yes.
It's and if anyone can tell me they know and understand the consistency of the logic of when they use it or when they use Park Avenue, we've already got people thinking guys should have been thrown out of games, and all of a sudden they make pronouncements 2 days afterwards about that wasn't a clenched fist, that wasn't a real hit of an official. I don't know. I think a couple of things. I talk to retired officials a lot. They just believe that the game is being taken away from the guys on the field. Consequently, the young guys that are running the games are not really running the games. That Park Avenue's running it. So they're not developed. This was a great point that was made to me the other day, that the young white hats aren't developing because they kind of now know they're not going to get graded down if the league comes in and changes something. So they're not really developing, according to a retired official who was a very good one.
Well,
So,
I just don't understand, though, what happened last night. How is that? It went 0-0 on the game clock, not the play clock. We all know they give them that half a second, 0-0, and then you look to see if the ball is snapped, whatever. But if it's zeros on the game clock, the quarter's over.
It is over. It is over. But the only way I can answer the question is they're inconsistent on how they manipulate things.
How
and
could
it's
they not?
frustrating.
How could Park
They
Avenue
see
not?
it.
How did they not call in and go, you missed that. The quarter was over. That play didn't count.
Well, my answer is the same answer I had at 30 seconds ago. There's no consistency to how they do things.
Gotcha.
And
all right.
We're all going to get frustrated multiple times a Sunday. And now we're at Thursday night for you specifically, David. But does anyone have expectations for consistency?
No, I do have expectations to get it right. I do. Just
No,
because it was a 17-point week 4 game. Okay. I have expectations to get it right.
There's no excuses, but you shouldn't have expectations. Mark and I have no expectations.
You can't. It's haphazard at best. And that should have been something that Park Avenue called back down and said, I'm sorry you missed that. But they pick and choose when they do this. I mean, we've seen it so many. We have a quick review. That pass was incomplete. Yeah, we all know it was incomplete. That's the right call. If they would have said we had a quick review and the play was conducted after the end of the quarter, the Green Bay fans would have been upset, but everybody else would have understood.
Yeah. And, David's not happy. But, we got to go to commercial too, David. I mean, what's more important? Getting it right or getting to a commercial?
Well, during the commercial, we could have gotten it right. Hello. All right, let's do the games.
All right. One of the games I'm interested in, Houston's played really well. C.J. Stroud's looked good. They've got Pittsburgh this week, who has not looked all that good offensively. What do you think about Pittsburgh going on the road, Pat?
Oh, I like Pittsburgh in this game. I think the young quarterback's doing a great job, throwing for over 300, but he's going to see a pass rush he's not seen. T.J. Watt and our friend over there, Highsmith. I think Pittsburgh will be fine on that side of the ball. We all know Tomlin's record against rookie quarterbacks. Why? Because it's defense. 23 wins, 4 losses. He's not losing this game. And they're in the race a little bit. And their 13 sacks lines up perfectly with our young quarterback in Houston being sacked 11 times. So I'm thinking 3 or 4 sacks in a game, maybe even a strip sack. And the offense will do just enough in Pittsburgh to win a boring game.
Houston's had a lot of offensive linemen injured. I hope they get a lot of them back for this week. All right, the 2-0-3 games. Denver at Chicago, Minnesota at Carolina. I love Minnesota for what it's worth this week. But your thoughts?
I like both road teams, David.
Okay.
Minnesota, I think, they just have too much firepower. The young quarterback's coming back. Think about that. He's only played 2 games. He hasn't really practiced a lot. And when he practices, it's very slow. So he's not going to be ready for those guys. And I think Cousins will be fine. Denver, I don't think Chicago. Chicago might be the first pick in the draft, the way they're going. And Denver, I think Russell threw for 300 last week. So who am I taking? I'm taking the teams with the best quarterbacks in the game.
Everybody talked about Miami and how good they looked in San Francisco. Philadelphia is yet to have their offense click on all cylinders. And to me, they still look like the best team in the league, Pat. I know you talk to Ron Rivera every week. I don't give Washington much of a shot. Do you?
No, I think, the quarterback's I can't believe he finished the game last week. He got beat up physically. He had black and blue welts on his arms from the amount of hits. Philadelphia will roll in this one.
Philly should remember also Washington came to the Link last year and beat them. It's a veteran defense. I know they got young guys they're mixing in, but they should remember that. Plus, it's a division game. I don't think they overlook it.
I would give the points, and I probably would give more than 7 points. I might, if you said, would you give me 10? I would say yes. You can have Washington 10.
Well, the line is 9. Rams Colts. You said this is the other game you're having a tough read on.
It is. It's and I'm looking at it going, okay, am I going to get 4 field goals again from the Indianapolis guy to win a low-scoring game? That's what troubles me. Their quarterback, he reminds me of Cam Newton. He's physical. He can run. He's going to play, all that stuff. But the other side of the coin is the Rams. Stafford looks in better shape right now than he has in 5 years. He's leaner. He's faster. He's moving the team around. They surprised me a little bit. There's really not a big home field advantage in Indianapolis. Most teams I know that go in there, us included, loved playing in there. Very nice, quiet. No one's yelling and screaming. It's just perfect little, gathering at grandma's house. I'll take the Rams.
Cincinnati, seems weird to me, but Pat, I almost look at the Bengals and there's some, not maybe must wins, but damn close to must wins in week 4. You don't want to fall back too behind. They've already lost 2 divisional games. They go to Tennessee.
Well, Tennessee, couple things. Tennessee's beat up physically. They got a lot of guys that may show up in the game, but they have not many guys practicing. Tannehill has not been playing very well, to say the least. Our friend Burrow gutted it out last week. I think he'll do more than that this week. And they'll get after Tannehill. And this team only wins when Derrick Henry's rolling. Derrick Henry's not well, and he did not play effectively last week. I wouldn't blame him for the whole thing, but I have no problem taking Cincinnati in that game.
All right, we got 5 games left, so about 15 seconds a game. Raiders at Chargers.
Chargers.
Okay.
New England at Dallas.
There you go.
Dallas. And Dallas, Quinn will have them all angry. I wanted to save some of my seconds from the other one for this one. Dallas will play better on defense. I say it every week. The Patriots will beat the teams they're supposed to beat, but they don't have a star player except Judon to go out and win a dynamic game above and beyond the X and O's. Give me Dallas at home, and you can have the points.
Well, needless to say, the Niners are going to take care of Arizona, right? Do the Jets at home, does that defense have anything for Mahomes?
You actually asked me that?
I had to. It's on the schedule.
Yeah. Well, what's the point spread? 9 or 10?
Yeah. Okay.
I'll,
that leaves
I'll
Monday
give you
night.
15.
Monday night. Giants are horrible on Monday night. Seattle's the best Monday night football team of all time.
I like Seattle in that game. Back to Kansas City. In case you like the Jets, I'm testing you here. I'll give them 15. You can have 15 points in the Jets.
I wouldn't take Zach Wilson in an XFL game.
Okay? There we go. I knew I could get the truth out of you if I just threw the number a little higher.
Joe Namath, right.
Yeah, I've seen enough. I love Joe.
Joe's right. I know he's old. People want to make fun of him. He's right. Don't know what to say. He knows a little bit about playing quarterback in the NFL, by the way. He's Pat Kirwan, NFL Radio, NFL Today Show, and he joined us once again courtesy of Pinchers. Pat, we love you. Be well. Thanks for joining us, Miller and Moulton.
Always an honor to be here with you guys. Terrific. I'll talk to you Tuesday.
Trail. Locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Tied in 3, getting our ass kicked in 1.
Yep, that's what I see. Ryder Cup could be over.
I think we're about to go down 4 in that one too, unless that hole's finished in the bottom match, because that's the par 4, and one of them drove it where they've got a reasonable eagle putt.
That's your favorite team too, Rory and Matt Fitzpatrick.
I like Matt Fitzpatrick.
I know, but
it just sucks. Rory's going to win all his matches because we choked like a dog in the first one. Should have had him. He tried to give it away.
Yeah, well,
Fitzpatrick's putting for, is this 5? Yeah, I think this is for Eagle from like 8 feet. He drove a 3-wood to like, hit a 3-wood to like 8-10 feet.
Yeah, Patrick Cantlay's Andrew Shoffley was the team facing him in the morning. I'm curious, how many big tournaments did they won?
That's in. That's 4 up. Rory's laughing.
Good.
Ay, ay, ay.
Well, it's 4 in a row. So it's basically 5-0 Europe with 3 matches even.
Yeah, because that's over.
Right.
Has the team ever gotten shut out in one of these before?
Well, they have the first hole.
No. I mean, can we lose this 25-0 or 28-0? Holy blank. Oh, now we're back to live, but we're looking at Ian Poulter making putts from however many years ago. Because that's what I need to see right now. Don't show me golf. Show me replays of Ian Poulter making putts. Are you guys lunatics? Take the live thing off the screen if you're showing me Ian Poulter. Shouldn't be allowed to have live on the screen. All right, now we're going to watch the same putt we just saw make it again. Yeah, Empire, I got up at 2:50 this morning, literally. 2:50. I said, let's get out of bed. Had the alarm set for 3:30. Playing fetch with the cat, watching the Ryder Cup. It was glorious. Uh-oh, now we're down in 2. Hoggard just made another birdie. Oh, back to commercial. Ooh, Koepka just rolled in a long birdie. They hit the side-by-side, or Homa, rather, just rolled in a long birdie. You better win, Homa. You go 0-2. You don't want to start your Ryder Cup career out 0-2. It's his first one, right?
Yep.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network.
22 minutes before the hour. Miller and Moulton, the Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. This is another one of those days. I so wish, for those of you who have never sampled us on twitch.tv/Miller and Moulton, to the commercial breaks, Mark Miller is dying along with Team USA in Europe in the Ryder Cup.
David, I think I'm not watching the United States and Europe. I actually think what they put on was Denver and Miami. I think I'm just watching a replay of that football game. That's what it reminds me of right now.
So is Rory McIlroy, is he Tua? Is he Achan? Okay. Who is Rory then? Tua had 3 touchdowns. Achan had 4.
Mozart had 4. I don't know. But they are the Miami Dolphins right now because they are boat racing the U.S. 4-0 in the morning matches. They're up in 2 of the 4 matches. In the afternoon matches, 2 are tied.
And still, although there's a chance something may happen in the next few minutes, which has not happened yet today. The U.S. is yet to lead in a match.
No, we had them for a moment. We had the lead in the Spieth Justin Thomas match. They were up a hole at one point. There was red on the board.
Yes,
for a moment, David.
You're right. They won the 6th hole to go 1 up. Europe came back, won the 7th hole. My bad.
Correct.
So for 15 minutes, we had the lead in a match.
In a match.
Right. NBC was in commercial for 11 of those 15 minutes. Man, you want entertaining social media right now. U.S. Ryder Cup fans on Twitter, let me tell you, the golfers suck, the network sucks, the announcers suck.
Zach Johnson sucks. They are all getting laid out right now.
My goodness. I mean, I'll tell you what, just LIV golf may be the big winner of this in the United States if this continues. Man, oh man.
You know what we need? We need a DJ out there right now.
Well, and Koepka's apparently playing okay. Of course,
He just rolled in a long birdie, but that just halved the hole. So the U.S. down 4 in one match, down 1 in one match, tied in the other 2. They are down 0-4 after the morning matches. We'll keep you updated throughout the show.
Mark Miller in agony. Agony. I don't know who's taking this worse, the Broncos defensive coordinator Sunday or Mark Miller this morning. Because once again, Mark, what time did you get up?
2:50.
And when did you go to bed?
11:24, I think it was somewhere around 11 o'clock. No, there was 4 minutes and 50 seconds left in the football game. And I said, I think this is over.
Okay. 27-3 at the half. It wasn't over, huh?
No.
Okay.
No.
Sound like
They
a
were
guy
a
who grew up
2-point conversion away from getting it to a 1-score game last night.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Hey, I've watched a lot more Lions football than you have, David.
No, there's no doubt. And you're not alone. You're not alone. There are other Lions fans who chastised me earlier in the show when I criticized you for not going to, bed at 27-3. I get it. I apologize. By the way, is the Ryder Cup over? Because it's basically 5-0 Europe. I mean, they're 4 up in one of the matches after winning 4-0 in the morning. So it's 5-0 Europe with 3 other matches still pending.
Put it this way, from a betting standpoint, this was pretty much an even money match.
Correct.
The Ryder Cup. Right now, Europe is minus 550 to win. They were minus 300 after the morning matches. It's already gone to 550 with the way this is going.
So we'll USA Network, for those of you that are interested, which I will say the symmetry there I like. It's a team competition, United States against Europe. What network is it on? Team USA is on USA. And then 1:30 in the morning or 2 in the morning, thereabouts, for a couple hours the next couple days. It starts on USA, and then it goes to NBC. And listen, there's no sense turning it on. They're just going to be in commercial.
Or so it seems.
Right.
As Patrick stuffed another iron to about 3 feet. All right, let's go through the NFL games, David.
Listen, I don't want to say Europe's deep or anything, but Justin Rose and Matthew Fitzpatrick came off the bench in the afternoon. They both won a U.S. Open.
Well, hell, we brought Koepka and Spieth and Thomas all off the bench too because they weren't good enough to play in the first matches.
Yeah, I know, but we should have started them. Europe's so deep that they're like, no, I don't have room for these guys. Anyway, okay. Yeah, let's do some games. What the heck?
All right, Atlanta at Jacksonville. It's the Sunday morning matchup, the Toy Story game. I'm not going to be taking it in on ESPN Plus. I'll watch it the old-fashioned way. I think Jacksonville gets it going again this week. Nearly played this game. I like Jacksonville.
If Jared Goff was on the Falcons, how good do you think they'd be?
Really good.
I mean, I really think that Ritter is holding them back from being an 11, maybe even 12-win team. I think they've invested a lot at the line of scrimmage. They cannot get the ball to Pitts. They can't get it to the wide receiver. They can only hand it to Bijan. I like Jacksonville. I mean, to tell you what, though, they are not playing well, and they lead the league in drops to the Jags.
Tampa Bay at New Orleans. I think you've already hinted which way you're going in this one. I'm going the Jameis revenge game. This is going to be a struggle to watch, David. I'm going to take New Orleans because they're at home.
Tampa Bay won't score more than 10 points. They will not be able to run the ball. They can shut down Mike Evans better than any other team in the league. The Saints defensive front is going to look a little bit like the Eagles defensive front did on a Monday. And I think Jameis and those receivers make a couple plays against a depleted secondary. I'll go 23-10 Saints. That's an under, by the way, over under 39.
Can the Dolphins get it done in Buffalo?
Yes. The game is very simple. Bills defensive line, Dolphins offensive line. It's very simple. Okay, who do you have faith in? Bills defensive line has been very good this year. They gave up some plays against the run against the Jets, but their defensive line has been very good this year. Dolphins offensive line has been amazing. Who do you think is going to win? Give me the Dolphins.
I'm with you, and mine's more of the no Von Miller thing. I think this is the time it's going to affect Buffalo. That their defense is good, but they've not, playing against the Raiders in Washington isn't really figuring things out. I think Miami gets it done on the road and takes a hold of the division. Give Houston any shot at home against Pittsburgh?
Oh, yeah, I do. But I do think it comes down to the Texans' offensive line has got a bunch of injuries. Their tackles have been out of the lineup most of the season. I do think the Steelers at the point of attack win the game.
The Rams are at Indianapolis. Two bad football teams. Who do you like?
The Colts were fortunate last week. I hate to say that. People get offended, but they were. Ravens were without 7 starters. You know I love teams that lose on Monday Night Football, although I just picked against the Bucs. Give me the Rams.
I like the Rams as well. I've already wrote that one down. I just think that Indianapolis, a little bit of fool's gold with what happened last week. I'm not picking them 2 weeks in a row.
Also, I think the veterans on the Rams know, Mark, it's their season. They can't fall to 1-3.
You already picked Minnesota in your Super 7. You like it maybe more than any other game on the slate this week. I like the Vikings as well. Carolina with Bryce Young back, they're banged up. This is not a good spot for the Carolina Panthers.
Carolina's offensive line's banged up. Their quarterback's banged up. They're missing 5 starters on defense. I think the Vikings score 35.
So far, we have picked all the same games. I'm guessing we're doing so in Washington at Philly. I think Philly's the best team in the league right now. I'm picking the Eagles.
I don't think they're the best team in the league right now. I don't think Washington wins in Philly 2 years in a row. And because also they'd have to run the ball. That's how they beat Philly last year. They ran it. Philly's much better in the middle of their defensive line against the run this year. The big fella from Georgia may have something to do with that.
Just a little bit. The depth that they have on the defensive line is what separates them to me from everybody else in the league, and I think it'll be apparent when it's all said and done. Cincinnati at Tennessee. I picked the Bengals in my Super 7 this week instead of the Fantastic 5. David, who do you got?
Yeah, I have Tennessee.
I knew that was coming.
I do. And don't get me wrong. I don't think they're a good team and they're scuffling, but Cincinnati's really struggling. No running game against the Rams at all. Burrow had to throw it 49 times. Cincinnati's not well. This is not last year's Cincinnati team. Tennessee still hates the Bengals for what they did in the playoffs to them 2 years ago.
Baltimore at Cleveland. I like the Browns in this game because Baltimore, all the players, they're getting some guys back, but they're still banged up. And Cleveland has, if not the best defense in the league, a top 3 defense in the league.
A key game. They're both 2-1. A team with a tradition of winning and a team with a tradition of not winning. Give me the Ravens.
The losers, Denver at Chicago. I'm taking Denver. The fact that they're a favorite on the road just shows you what Vegas thinks of Chicago. That team this season's already over for the Bears. I don't even know how many games they'll win, but I think it's like if the over-under was 1.5, I might be going under. Give me Denver in this game.
I might have picked Chicago if Denver had just lost to Miami, if you know what I mean. Like if they got beat 38-20, 70-20, a professional athlete embarrassed is one of the most dangerous things in the world. Yeah, if the Broncos don't win this week, half the team's getting cut. Seriously.
I'm taking the Chargers against the Raiders because, David, I always take the Chargers.
Well, they're the better team. I mean, they are. One thing I will say, this will be a road game for the Chargers. That place will be 70% Raider fans. Not that it's going to mean a lot, but it just will. Be curious to see if the Mike Williams injury rears its head in this game. Devontae's on the trade block. But give me the Chargers.
New England at Dallas. Do you have any hope for the New England Patriots in this one?
I do because they muck up games, Mark. You know, what they do to the Dolphins, they slowed that game down, took away all the deep stuff, and yeah, they were down 24-3, but next thing you know, it was 24-17 and they were driving. Dallas can screw things up. And I think New England's going to give them the opportunity to. I do think Dallas wins, though.
As do I. I'm guessing we're both taking San Francisco. That's a monster number in that one. And we're both taking Kansas City for obvious reasons.
Yeah, I will say I think it's the Jets' season, though. I do, although they could go to Denver the next week and win and get to 2-3. Them not acquiring a quarterback, though, I don't see how the room overcomes that.
And finally, Monday night, we'll talk about it more on Monday night, but just from the sense of picking games, I already picked Seattle. We both picked Seattle and laid the point. So Seattle is our pick in that one.
So we disagree on one game?
2. I have Cincinnati. You have Tennessee. I have Cleveland. You have Baltimore.
Gotcha. We'll say, though, Cleveland should win. They're that, outside of the Chubb injury, the other 20-something spots, they're healthier. Their defense has been amazing this year. Amazing. I mean, Pittsburgh scored 20-something. They had 2 defensive scores. I mean, the Browns' defense in 3 games has given up like 30 total points when they've been on the field. They've been amazing. They should win. Ultimately, it's Lamar against Deshaun. Now, if this is, Houston Texans, Deshaun, with that team, I'd take Cleveland. We'll see.
I just love the Cleveland defense and what they've done so far. And Baltimore's still banged up. They're still coming off a lot of injuries on that offensive line. I think Gaskin will have his way, and he'll be able to get to Lamar. And this is where trying to throw it's going to hurt Baltimore, if you know what I mean.
So let me get this straight. We could have the Detroit Lions and the Cleveland Browns both in first place come Monday?
That's correct.
Yeah, baby, yeah.
Just a bat blank crazy year in sports. Miller and Moulton. Those are our NFL picks. If you miss any of the show, go to floridasportsnetwork.com or any of the usual spots to download what you have missed. like Lee Sterling and Pat Kirwan, who are both with us today. The Diamond District Bonus Hour is coming up next. An update on the Ryder Cup as well, right here. Miller and Moulton. Thanks for listening. The Florida Sports Network.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to make sure you're shopping with the best. And the best when it comes to GIA certified diamonds and diamond jewelry is not online. It's not in the malls. And it's not with any of the new pop-up jewelry stores trying to make a go of it here in Southwest Florida. The best place to buy diamonds is with my friends Jason and Todd at the Diamond District, who have made Southwest Florida their home for over 20 years now. The largest selection of GIA certified diamonds is with the Diamond District. The only place you'll find diamonds 8 to 10% over cost is with the Diamond District. America's top bridal designers have chosen the Diamond District to represent their engagement rings exclusively in Southwest Florida. Simply put, the best selection, experience, and best prices are with Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Worth.
Yeah. Hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here.
Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're going to have to go around again.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Live is the official transportation provider of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Live is supported with the help of local partners like the Bayfront Inn. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone on 5th Avenue in downtown Naples. BayfrontInNaples.com. When you need a ride, book with Salt Live Transportation, 308-8686, or book on saltlivetransportation.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Matthew Fitzpatrick is 6 under through 6 holes right now. Rory's just walking along in this match.
Dianne Feinstein just died.
Really?
It's not often that someone who's actually in office dies. You know, they usually find a way to resign, I don't know, a few days before, spend some time with family. No. But we're actually up in a match. No?
Yes. Homa and Clark are up 1.
Wow. So right now it would be 6.5, 1.5 if the match is ended.
Yes. Bobby Regan on Twitter. Hoggart is just pushing our blank in it now. This just sucks. Instead of cup retention rights, we should have the ability to restart the Ryder Cup.
John, if it was up to Miller and Moulton, first off, we would have had it 10 years ago. We would have been the first state in the country.
Yeah, let's interview somebody right now. Please get me a 3-shot of Azinger, Hicks, and whoever the hell this is, because this is what I need is a stand-up shot in the middle of the Ryder Cup. Could your coverage be any flipping worse? Show golf.
No, NBC is really against that whole concept. By the way, these are the same people that own the Golf Channel.
Who do they think is watching this at 9 o'clock in the morning? This is a diehard golf audience. Please continue with that 3-shot of you guys, because there can't be anything going on out there.
No, there's no guy. I mean, honestly, they should not miss a single shot of this tournament.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
It is the Diamond District bonus hour. Miller and Moulton, the Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. We are keeping you updated on the Ryder Cup. Here's all you need to know. Europe. Back to you, Mark.
Well, there is breaking news. We are actually leading one of the 4 matches.
Dun, 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 dun.
Wyndham Clark and Max Homa are 1 up through 7 in their match. Matthew Fitzpatrick and Royal McIlroy are up 5 through 6 on their match. Fitzpatrick is 6 under through 6 holes. 4 birdies and an eagle.
Well, you made the comment that Rory's laughing because apparently he's not contributing at all.
He doesn't have to.
Right.
Fitzpatrick is not just making birdies. He's knocking them stiff. Hit his 3-wood on the par 4 5th hole to about 9 feet and rolled that in for an eagle.
Xander Schauffele and Colin Morikawa are 5 down through 6.
Through 6.
Right. Those are 2 of the 15 best golfers in the world? Now we could debate, one of them's never won anything and, but whatever. But still, when is the last time? They've been playing golf. They're young guys, but they've been playing golf for 20 years. Okay, you go all the way back to juniors. When's the last time those 2 were on either one, individually or together in a team match, or on the 7th tee they were 5 down?
I would argue never.
Right. I would too.
I would argue ever. You think because there's a lot of match play in amateur golf.
Yes. Uh-huh. Right.
And I still would say never.
I would too. And I love the fact that Matthew Fitzpatrick is beating them both. Just both. Roy's like, can I carry your bag? You don't need me. So there you go. Koepka and Scheffler are losing. They're 2 down through 8 to Rahm and Hojgaard there. And Max Homa, Wyndham Clark, baby. That's it. They're carrying the banner.
Well, at least I don't have to get up early tomorrow morning, David. That's all I'm figuring out right now.
Well, let's see. If the scores that are currently on the board stayed, the score after the first day would be 6.5, 1.5. Is that over?
Yes.
I agree. Here's the deal, though. If the U.S., what if they split? What if JT and Spieth, who right now are all square with Tyrrell Hatton, Victor Hovland midway through their match, what if they find a way to win that sucker 1 up and the afternoon session's 2-2?
Then I honestly think that's the difference. I think they can't go down 5 points.
Okay, so they have to at least split the session, not lose it.
Yes.
I would argue they need to win every session the rest of the way, even if you're only winning like 2.5, 1.5. I mean, do some quick math here. If you win the next 3 sessions, 2.5, 1.5, that's 7.5 to 4.5. What would the score be going into Sunday? Be 8.5 to 7.5.
Well, there's only 2 more sessions left after today.
Right. Well, I meant the session that's going on right now that they're losing 2.5 to 1.5. I'm saying if they could find a way to win that 2.5 to 1.5.
Oh, yeah, that would take some. That would take the match that they're down 2 up in to get back into it, to win the match they're tied, and to hold on in the one they're up 1. That's a tall order right now. The way they're playing, it really is.
It would. So let's just say though they change one match, the all square match they win. Then it'd be a 2-2 session, 6-2. Now give me 2 2.5s, 1.5s. That's 5 to 3. Now all of a sudden it's 9-7 going to Sunday.
That's all well and good. I'm more worried about it being 7-1 when today's over with.
No, I hear you. I get you. But I'm just trying to say that they're hanging on by their fingernails right now, and we think they're going to lose their grip. But I'm just saying that they can get out of the afternoon and not lose any more ground. What you're saying is there's a chance.
And I'll tell you, the guy who's in a really tough position, Zach Johnson, because if they're down 7-1, he's going to take all the heat. And I don't know what you do tomorrow morning. I really don't. When you get drummed like this, who the hell do you play? I mean, do you have it? I mean, do you just bring them all into a room, line up the bottles of booze, say everybody do a couple of shots? We're going to pick names out of a hat and give it a shot tomorrow?
Do you do like Billy Martin did the one time he drew the lineup out of a hat? Okay, and he had Reggie leading off, and Thurman was hitting 7th. And, hey, all I know is they went out and scored 7 runs that day and broke a losing streak.
Well, after Fitzpatrick went 6 under through 6, Rory birdied the 7th. They are up 6 through 7. These are the best players in the world right here.
Yes, they are. Man, I forget the golfer offhand, but we got to go back about 15 years ago. There was a young Euro, and no, it wasn't Poulter, who said something that Tiger perceived to be talking some smack. And I think it was a Ryder Cup, but it might have been just the match play. Tiger beat him 9-8. 9-8. I mean, that's damn near pitching a shutout in golf. And it's damn near winning every hole that you play until you shake hands. I have a feeling McIlroy and Fitzpatrick right now. I mean, Schauffele and Morikawa are like, listen, can we just see the 12th tee? Can we get to 12?
Yeah, there's being 3-4 down and going, all right, we get one hole, we're back into this.
Right.
You're down 6 through 7, and one guy's playing out of his tree unconscious golf, and the other one just rolled in a 30-footer for birdie when the Fitzpatrick took a hole off. I don't know what you do at that point.
Mark, I don't know about you, but the country club that I caddied at growing up, they had, it's funny, they redesigned the course. And so what used to be the halfway house was actually in between the 13th green and the 14th tee. And whenever the club championship came around, and if a match got out of hand, the caddies, that's where we got our food. We didn't get anything at the turn. Okay. We had to get, and so I remember one time I was caddying for Walter O'Leary, and we're 5 down on the 12th tee. Okay. And he just looks at me and I go, hey, can we just get to the halfway house? And he goes, I'll get you.
Did it.
And I caddied for Mr. O'Leary a lot, and he just looked at me and he goes, I'll get you a hot dog no matter what. I go, okay, good. And I kind of feel like Schauffele and Morikawa right now are like, man, can we just get to the halfway house, which is, maybe on 13? Golly. But for the record, ladies and gentlemen, we lost the morning 4-0. We didn't lead in a single match, and
didn't have a tie in any match after the fourth hole.
Correct. And I will say we have had 2 leads. They've each consisted of 15 minutes here in the afternoon session. But JT and Spieth, okay, they were up, 1 up for 1 hole. And now Max Homa and Wyndham Clark are 1 up, and they're trying to consolidate that on their next hole. And that's it. Yeah, that's what we got. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I really enjoy the Ryder Cup. I look forward to it. You know how much I love it across the pond because I can get up early and watch live sports, one of my favorite things to do in the world.
Yep.
And I feel like I've been cheated out of this event. And we're in the first day, and we're not even basically not even halfway through the second round of matches. And this looks grim, to say the very least.
Well, the one thing that I don't believe is talked about enough, we won 19-9 2 years ago. 19-9. Remember, this means more to them than it does to us. It just does. I equated it to the Bedlam rivalry. Oklahoma State. I mean, pick the rivalry that you know means more to the quote-unquote lesser team, so they say.
You hit me right between the eyes. Even though you went Oklahoma State, I immediately thought of Michigan State as a Spartan.
Oh,
Michigan's our biggest game. Michigan's biggest game is obviously Ohio State.
Correct. Right.
And just like you said, all of a sudden, if Sparty beats them a few years in a row, then Michigan takes it serious, pounds them back into the ground, reestablishes their dominance, and moves on.
And I mean, we really think this, and I don't know if this is true or not, but when we look at the European players, when you look at them, Mark, and you think, if I inject them with truth serum and ask them this question, would you rather kick ass in the Ryder Cup or win a major? We think for the European player, that is an unbelievably difficult question to answer, and that a decent number of them would say win the Ryder Cup. There's not a single American player that we think we wouldn't be able to get the question out before they would go win a major, idiot. 19-9 is what we did to them 2 years ago. Rory McIlroy was crying. That's a married man with kids crying. With 4 major titles, by the way.
And they are playing like they care more, or at least putting like they care more. But then again, they always putt.
There you go. Who makes putts, Mark? Who makes putts in the Ryder Cup?
The Europeans. Who chips balls in? The Europeans.
Right.
Goofy things just happen in this tournament, and they've not generally happened in favor of the Americans, and they are getting drummed right now. 1 up in one match, down 6 in one, down 2 in the other, tied through 9 in one. Oh, could be down 6.5, 1.5 if it ended like it is right now. I don't even think you would have had under 2 points in the 2 matches, and you picked Europe to win this thing. Miller and Moulton, thanks so much for listening right here on the Florida Sports Network.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to shop with the best, and the mall is not the place to be. Here are my friends, Jason and Todd, with the Diamond District.
Take a stroll in the mall, pop into a few jewelry stores, and you'll soon discover you're in the wrong place. Rings begin to look all alike. You're not finding GIA certified diamonds. You quickly realize you know more than a salesperson helping you, and all the same financing gets pushed on you.
Visit Jason and me, and you'll find America's top bridal designers dealing exclusively with the Diamond District. You'll find the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds, all priced 8 to 10% over cost. You'll find educated sales consultants who have many years' experience and are not paid commissions.
And you'll find Todd and me in the store nearly every day, wanting to shake your hand and welcome you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
So apparently, by the way, to the gentleman in our Twitch, and I don't know if he's still there, the score app is wrong. The game will resume Monday at 1 o'clock if it's needed. The Marlins will have a 2-1 lead. They'll be batting in the top of the ninth. If the game's not needed, they take the runs off the board. They go back to the last completed inning, and the Mets will be awarded a 1-0 win. Fortunately, it's not needed to determine an over-under bet.
For either team.
Right.
Because one's way over and one's way under. All right. We might be able to, big hole here. Rom just missed a short birdie putt, and it wasn't to win the hole, so it looks like we have a shorter birdie putt. And John Rahm is not happy.
I'm just impressed that Homa and Clark were able to have the next hole. So
right. Longest lead we've had in a match all day. Scheffler from about 4 feet to win a hole. And he made it. So they're down 1. I really want Koepka to win all his matches no matter what happens. Now, in theory, I watched both Hovland and Hatton. Hovland had to chip for birdie. I've not seen either U.S. player putt yet. I would think that both Spieth and Thomas have putts for birdie here.
See?
I think, but
now that's how you get 2.5, 1.5. Now you're 1 down in the one match. and you have a chance maybe to take the lead in another.
I think Spieth hit it in the water on 10, so I think this is our only shot. And he missed it. Yeah, DJ got up this morning and went, oh, look at this. DP World Tour is on.
Here we go.
Welcome to the bonus hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Football Friday edition of Miller and Moulton here on the Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. It is the Diamond District bonus hour, exclusively in the 239. Because Todd and Jason are exclusively in the 239.
But it doesn't mean people don't come from the 941 and the 305 occasionally, maybe even the 813, to stop into the Diamond District to get the great deals, the great service, and the superior selection that only the Diamond District had. So stop by and see Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. Make sure you tell them Miller and Moulton sent you.
Now, we won't harp on this much longer. We'll get back to football. But we did receive a comment in our Twitch chat room from John, who wondered, you think the LIV guys are watching? Can you imagine, what the group texting is like amongst the Americans and then amongst the Europeans?
Do you think Patrick Reed's actually in a group chat with anyone?
I think
No. I want you to answer. On the LIV Tour, is Patrick Reed in a group chat with anybody?
I think when the Europe won the morning 4-0, that they added Patrick Reed to the group chat. He was not in it originally.
Blank.
But at 4-0, they added Captain America to the group chat. Remember, Mark, they play team golf over there. Somebody has to have his phone number.
Yeah, but it's not DeChambeau and it's not DJ. They're not on his team. So, that would actually mean that DJ would know how to add somebody to a chat.
Stop it. Stop it already. Come on now. After he went 5-0 in a Ryder Cup, come
He
on.
thought he was playing in the President's Cup. That's why he did so well.
Doesn't matter. Right? Come on now. Guys won 24 tournaments, a couple majors.
How's this group chat work?
Come on. He's not David Moulton with technology. Come on. It's funny. So I don't think he was originally in it, but when we lost the morning 4-0, I think Captain America got added. That's all I'm saying.
So his lawsuit got thrown out yesterday. His defamation lawsuit was thrown out of court. Thank goodness.
I know it's a joke. I mean, listen, Brandel Chambly can be an idiot at times, but when you're in the public eye, you got to suck it up. You just do.
All right, we got a handful of college football games this weekend, David, that there's a little meat on the bone.
Yes.
Even tonight, Utah and Oregon State. Now, Sam Rison's not playing, right, for Utah? The quarterback?
He is not, no.
And that's why Oregon State's a 4-point favorite in this game. But this should be a pretty good game.
9 o'clock FS1 for anyone that's interested. Mark, when you take your nap, because you ain't going to make it through dinner.
We got a tea time today at 12 o'clock.
Oh, no. And then you'll have a couple drinks. And so, no, you'll go home. You'll go right to bed. Your family will be like, wait, he's the chef. He cooks dinner. And there'll be a sign on the door. Okay. Gone sleeping.
No, mom having dinner at mom's tonight. I already know the menu. There's apple pie for dessert.
Well,
homemade apple pie tonight.
I fell asleep at a family dinner table one time. I was so tired. Just in my chair, fell asleep. That could be you tonight.
No arguments from me.
Especially if there's like a glass of wine or something, and you'll treat yourself. Yeah, I had a busy week, worked all week, took care of the daughter. Got up, watching the Ryder Cup, played a couple rounds of golf. I'm deserving of it. Pour me one over there. Out. You'll be out.
I resemble everything that you just said, but I am not going to go into the glass of wine with as much as my wife works with. I worked a lot this week. That's the one thing I have to keep on the inside, David.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Listen, if Florida can win at Kentucky, well, then in 2 weeks, they can certainly win at South Carolina, right?
Absolutely.
And then in theory, aren't we talking about 6-1 playing Georgia? Now, don't get me wrong. I do not think of them as good as what their record could be, if you know what I mean. Because they're ranked 22nd in the country now. They eke out a win in Lexington, and then they keep it going and beat South Carolina. They're going to be ranked like 17th in the country or so. And
maybe even a little higher than that. It could be 15th, 14th because teams will lose.
But, remember, Will Muschamp had that one team in which they just kind of managed themselves well. And they made the other teams beat them, and the teams couldn't. Except for the one game when they beat themselves, which was Georgia. But they went 11-1 that year. This team they're much better on defense. Their structure's so much better. They take no chances on offense. They're solid at running the ball. The quarterback's got one turnover all year. It wasn't his fault. The wide receiver missed an easy catch. Ball bounced off him. I mean, they could still be only an above average team and could be 6-1 playing Georgia. That's what I think's at stake tomorrow at noon in Lexington, Mark.
Another game of ranked teams tomorrow is Texas and Kansas. Do you give the Jayhawks any shot on the road in Texas? It's a big number. It's 16.5.
Yeah, in fact, I'm shocked it's this big. I am. Kansas beat them 2 years ago. And now, don't get me wrong. This is the best Texas team since Mac's 09 team that played for the national title. But this is also the best Kansas football team since Mark Mangino had them in the top 10. And that was in, 2007? And the Kansas coach, by the way, I mean, the Kansas coach in football circles is like, yeah, if the talent's even, he'll win.
You always like to go to the old racing league, the IROC racing league.
Yep.
This guy can coach. What he's doing with inferior talent.
Yeah, this guy's
and
Mark
always at Kansas, he'll always have inferior. No matter how well
Correct.
he does in big games, he's always going to have inferior talent.
So I am curious. Kansas offensively has been really good this year, and they have a quarterback. So I'm just curious, will Texas just whoop them at the line of scrimmage and then let their talent take over? Or is Kansas actually going to be able to put some points on the board and hang around?
LSU and Ole Miss, I actually picked LSU in my Fantastic Five that turned into a Super 7, mainly because I just think Ole Miss is going to have trouble playing this type of physical ball 2 weeks in a row. We saw what Alabama did to them physically. Ole Miss came right down and scored in that game, and Alabama dominated the line of scrimmage from that point forward. I think LSU will do the same thing, even though this one's in Oxford.
Would it surprise you if ESPN Analytics gives Ole Miss a 57% chance to win this game?
David, I can't figure out ESPN Analytics, to be honest with you, because their percentages are sometimes completely deviate from what the point spreads are. I will trust Vegas over ESPN analytics. That's what I'll trust.
And LSU's a 2.5-point road favorite. I like LSU at the quarterback position better.
And the quarterback for Ole Miss is good. He can run the football. He throws it a little bit.
I tell you what, the Arkansas performance, I think, has a few people scared about LSU, and they're sliding down in the rankings. They have actually not looked great, even though they've won 3 in a row. Mark, ultimately, I just think there's a talent difference. And Brian Kelly's a good coach. So I'll take LSU close.
And Notre Dame and Duke. Earlier on the show, Lee Sterling picked Duke to win outright. Thinks their quarterback's better. I just wonder if Duke's going to be good enough at the line of scrimmage for Notre Dame, David.
Prime time for Duke. ABC, 7:30. This is a BFD, as they say. Notre Dame's won nearly 30 consecutive games against ACC opponents. I don't know. I think there's a hangover from the Ohio State game. Kind of leaning with Lee. I'll pick Duke.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other. The vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
Yeah. Hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here.
Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're going to have to go around again.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Live is the official transportation provider of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Live is supported with the help of local partners like the Bayfront Inn. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone on 5th Avenue in downtown Naples. BayfrontInNaples.com. When you need a ride, book with Salt Live Transportation, 308-8686, or book on saltlivetransportation.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Chris, everybody's entitled to their opinion, but to think that I mailed a show in today when I went to bed at 11:30 to get up at 2:50 in the morning to watch the Ryder Cup's laughable to me. It's the furthest thing from mailed in. We're in the #1 golf market in the country. We were on in St. Pete, which we're not right now, which is the #2 golf market in the country. You may not like golf, but it is in our audience, it's a big thing. The TV numbers show that golf is a really big deal down here. And since 4 of the matches ended before 6 o'clock this morning, I don't think people were up watching it. In fact, I know they weren't because they've texted me. And 2, now people are at work. So unless people are just blowing off work, that's fine. We've given updates throughout the show. But obviously, we thank you for listening. You're entitled to your opinion. But to say we mailed it in, I take offense to that personally. I got 3 hours of sleep last night so I could watch a football game and watch all of the #1 sporting event that's being played live during our show. No, it's not. It's not to smoke him. It's not it. If you're a listener to the show, I thank you, man. You listen to the show. You're entitled to your opinion. I'm just bothered by the fact that he said we mailed the show in. No, nothing could be further from the truth. U.S. could take a 2-up lead in the one match.
Hey, Shoffley Morikawa half the hole.
Yeah, they got it to 8, being 6 down. Very nice, Adam. Montgomery, what a nice start that was. Look at that. Holman and Clark are 2 up.
Here we go.
Welcome to the bonus hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes till the top of the hour, 16 until we're out of here. Final segment of the show, end of the week. Thanks so much for being with us. Hope you've had a good week. And, well, as we head into October, hope the weekend treats you well also. The Diamond District bonus hour here on Miller and Moulton.
Let's get after it, shall we?
If you insist.
It's time for someone to take back this segment, if for no other reason than to stop David from talking about Meghan and Harry. Here's Mark Miller with Today Was the Day When.
1829 we start. The first units of the London Metropolitan Police appear on the streets of the British capital, the city's first modern police force. 1879, the National League owners meeting to adopt a reserve clause giving each team exclusive rights to their players. Hence, they've been trying to screw players out of money since 1879.
Yep. That's what Curt Flood, 90 years later, took on. Cost him his career, changed professional sports in this country.
1916. John D. Rockefeller becomes the world's first billionaire in 1916.
And that would seem to go a long way back then.
Today in 1920, Ruth sets the Major League home run record at 54 during a 7-3 win over the Philadelphia A's. 1923, Gene Sorensen beats Walter Hagen for the PGA title, his third of 7 majors. Today in 1951, CBS broadcast its first football game in color. David was spotting as the University of California took on the University of Pennsylvania.
It's funny. That is. That's funny. What year was that again?
51.
Gotcha.
1954, Willie Mays makes his famous over-the-shoulder catch during Game 1 of the World Series.
Against Vic Wirtz and maybe the best Indians team of all time. And the Giants ended up winning that game and going on to a 4-game sweep. They were huge underdogs.
Today in 62, JFK authorized the use of federal troops to integrate the University of Mississippi. 1963, it was Stan Musial Day in St. Louis for his final game, where he had 2 hits.
You know, Musial had a great line 20 years later when, I guess it was about 15 years later when Pete Rose passed him on the all-time hits list in the National League. And Musial said, well, on my final day, I got 2 hits and he got 3. So he was catching up on me at the very end.
That same day in 63, the Rolling Stones started their first tour, an opening act for Bo Diddley and the Everly Brothers.
How'd that work out?
Seemed to be okay. I think they're still on tour.
I know, which is ridiculous.
Today in 66, the Chevy Camaro was introduced. It was originally named the Panther.
Huh.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yaz won his second straight batting crown today in 68, hitting just a shade over 300. Tommy Lasorda begins his stint as Dodger manager today in 1976.
Yeah, there was like 3-4 games left in the season, right? Walter Alston just resigned. There was like 4 games left, and Lasorda took over.
Today in 77, Billy Joel released The Stranger.
Love that album.
It might be his best album. Today in 82, Cheers premiered on NBC TV. 84, Let's Go Crazy by Prince peaked at number 1. 85, MacGyver debuts on ABC. The ladies were getting it done today in 88. Jackie Joyner-Kersee won her second gold medal of the Seoul Games by winning the long jump. She had already won the heptathlon. And Flojo sets the world record in the 200 meters to complete her double at the Seoul Games. 91 at Kiowa today, the U.S. beat Europe 14.5, 13.5. Bernard Longer misses a 6-foot par putt, which would have clinched a tie and retained the cup for Europe.
If you ever get a chance, there were so many players on both sides, but more the U.S. choking the likes of which you've never seen. Mark Calcavecchia was 4 up with 4 to play. This is a major champion. He had won the British Open 2 years earlier. He's 4 up with 4 to play. Is he playing Monty? Monty wins like a hole or 2, and Monty then on the 16th or 17th tee puts his tee shot in the water. All Calcavecchia needs is a half, and he wins the match. Calcavecchia makes triple, loses the hole. Eventually, Monty gets out of there with a half point. It was unbelievable, the pressure. That was the Ryder Cup in which it got nicknamed the War at the Shore.
Today in 96, the Nintendo 64 video game system debuts in the U.S. 2002 at the Belfry, Europe wins. Teams were tied 8 apiece going into the singles matches, and we got whooped. Kanye changed his name to Ye today in 2018. And it was a year ago that Ian made landfall and changed Southwest Florida forever.
Unfortunately.
Gene Autry, Jerry Lee Lewis, Larry Linville, and Madeline Kahn all born today. So long, ferret face. Sebastian Coe is 67. Andrew Dice Clay is 66. John Paxson and Rob Deere are each 63. Ken Norton Jr. is 57, and Kevin Durant is 35. What did I miss, David?
Well, it's for some reason, Mark, and I don't know why this story is attributed to this day, because it played out over the course of a week. But remember, the Tylenol capsules and the cyanide-laced tablets. For whatever reason, they list that story in this day in history to today. There had been 6 victims that had died previously. I think today was the day that the last person who ended up dying in 2 days bought her Tylenol tablets, Paula Prince. And it changed packaging in this country forever, even though all the capsules was found in the Chicago area. They've still never arrested anybody associated with that tragedy.
And we were panicked of all Tylenol, not just capsules. I mean, Tylenol took a huge hit because no one would buy it.
It really is, when you think about it, it's amazing that it survived. They literally took it off the shelves for months, came back with brand new packaging and said, this should be safe. And we went back and bought it. I mean, that we don't normally do stuff like that. We go, no, this kills you. I'll go buy Bear right over here. And it then kind of forced all the other people who made aspirin well, then we got to do that packaging too, because now people are buying it because they think it's safer. It changed packaging in this country. That's all I got.
You've heard folks elsewhere mock Florida is gonna Florida. Well, Mark Miller sees it differently. He calls it the good, the bad, and the ugly. What you got, Mark?
We go to Pennsylvania for the good, where an elk became entangled with TV cables with its antlers. Pennsylvania Game Commission said game wardens responded to a report of antlers caught in a telecommunications wire. They had to sedate the elk to remove the wires and then let the elk off on its own. No one was there with a bow or gun to shoot it and take it home for dinner, although it probably would have been delicious. For the bad, we go to Cape Coral, where Susan Rizzo has an iguana problem, David. She's trying to keep the iguanas out of her backyard, and dozens keep appearing. She's tried fences, she's tried rocks, she's tried, a lot of different ways, but she can't keep the iguanas out of her yard. I'd go with a gun and start shooting them. That's me personally.
Why? Are they bothering you?
They're not native to Florida. They can be humanely killed on private property year-round with landowner permission with no permit required.
David, they're invasive. They eat our crops.
That's why.
Okay. I'm sorry. In your backyard, how many crops do you have?
Well, no, it's not just my backyard. It's the entire
I have
community.
herbs. I have tomatoes when it's time. I do have the occasional crop in my backyard, sir.
I'm sorry. Did you say herbs? Would you care to
Yes.
be more specific?
Basil, parsley.
Gotcha.
Some thyme, little sage.
Just curious if you'd gone with a different herb. That's all.
No.
Okay.
Not yet. It takes too much to grow that. You got to do it inside. You need lights. Finally, the ugly. We go to Disney World, where a couple is suing Disney World after they say a water slide caused a painful wedgie and severe injury.
Oh, suck it up.
The complaint says riders can reach speeds approaching 40 miles an hour and are told to cross their legs at the ankles. The lawsuit said in this woman's case, when she went down the slide, near the end, her body lifted up. She became airborne and she slammed downward against the slide, which increased the likelihood of her legs becoming uncrossed, and her impact caused a, again, painful wedgie. That is the good, the bad, and the ugly on today, September the 29th, 2023.
Just so you know, right now, Europe's winning one match. The U.S. is 2-up in a match, and the other 2 matches are all square.
You're right.
Koepka and Scheffler have come from 2 down against John Rahm and his novice teammate, and they're now all square with 8 to play. Just saying. the whole win in the afternoon, 2.5, 1.5 is still very much in play. Hell,
winning
US
at 3-1 is in play.
3-1 is in play. Now, this is the Ryder Cup, and we all know how these close matches go at the end. Europe makes birdies, and we don't, and we lose. 1 up, 2-1. That's how the close matches go. But just saying, right now, there's some hope for the U.S. in the Ryder Cup. And with that, NBC has gone to commercial. Just hey, Felipe, I'm not doing this to worry you. But the Cubs are in Milwaukee. The Marlins are in Pittsburgh. Well, to the Pirates, this is their 3 playoff games. To the Brewers, this is not. They're actually playing real playoff games next week. Milwaukee's not sending their best pitchers to the hill in this series because they got to be ready to go Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. And they're probably not going to play any starters on Sunday. I don't know how much starters will play. I think they'll play a little bit tonight. They may play half the game Saturday, but you know what I'm getting at here. If you're Craig Counsell, you got to cover your butt. You can't get a guy hurt in 3 meaningless games here that you're going to need next week in the playoffs.
Well, of course not. But
So I'm just saying that the Pirates, meanwhile, who have played really good baseball in the second half of the season, above 500 baseball the second half of the year, they got their pitching lined up. And the Marlins wasted all their available starting pitching against the Mets. The Marlins rotation is a mess for this series.
it's
Felipe,
all hands on deck.
If I had to bet right now, it'll come down to Monday, 1 o'clock. The Marlins will need to win.
What I was just going to ask you, when we come back on the air Monday morning, are the Marlins going to have to finish this game off to win the last wild card spot?
I mean, Felipe, would it shock you if the Cubs take 2 out of 3 and the Marlins only take 1 out of 3? And the Marlins need to win the completed game Monday afternoon to make the playoffs.
No, it would not surprise me. And it would be the most dramatic situation possible. But just make it, please.
2-1 Marlins. 2-1 Marlins, top of the 9th. I think a runner on second with 2 outs. Okay, is when the game would resume at 1 o'clock Monday. Be fascinating.
It really would.
I mean, 10 minutes. 10 minutes to decide a playoff spot.
Well, and I mean, the Mets would have no interest, but at the same time, they got to show up, and you're going to get ticked off and say, all right, are we going to just try to win this thing in the bottom of the 9th?
I mean, they probably will go out and get absolutely hammered on Sunday. I mean, they will play those 10 minutes completely hungover. But it doesn't mean you still can't catch up with one fastball. I mean,
would be something.
Yeah, it would.
Lots of college football tonight, by the way. Louisville at North Carolina, Utah at Oregon State at 9, UTEP hosting La Tech, and Cincinnati is at BYU late at night for What's on Tap. Have a tremendous weekend, everybody. We'll do it all over again Monday morning, 6 a.m., Miller and Moulton, right here on the Florida Sports Network.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in